Yes, people, and welcome back to Normski TV and the What's Going On podcast. And please hit that like button and subscribe and share. If you are new for the first time, hit that like button. And big up to those that have subscribed to me in the last couple of days. Really appreciate it. And listen, road to 800 subs. 30 plus away from there. So come on, guys, get me to that 37 away. If I can do my maths right, I think I'm on 743. So I need to get to 800 subs, and then the next journey 900, and then the 1K. Can you get me there? But listen, big up to everybody that's in the chat. Big up to AFC, always there. Yeah, like and subscribe if you haven't already. And obviously, I've said just I'll be with you in 2 minutes, and I'm now back and I'm here, live and direct. And listen, we have got an awful lot to talk about. The fixtures have come out today, people, and it's thrown up some real interesting challenges for our various clubs. Man United and Arsenal pitted against each other. You know, the last time that happened, and it was like over 8-2 loss, and then we went and panic buyed and bought, yes, you guessed it, Mikel Arteta. Yes, we went and bought Mikel Arteta. Season is over in September, as AFC is saying. Season could be over in September. And you know why you could be saying that? Because, guys, if you fail to prepare, you prepare to fail. And this is what's happening at the moment with Arsenal. I've not seen nothing going on right now. It's like a circus. Yeah? Clowns running the show, guys. And listen, I don't want to be calling out Berta. Yeah, I know you've just come in and yeah, you're new to all of this. Yeah, but guys, the stuff that I'm seeing that's coming out, you know, from the reporters, from you know the ones that are like Fabrizio and Ornstein and all these people. Yeah, listen, what is Arsenal doing here? Come on, man, really, what are we doing here? In terms of our transfer dealings, yeah? You've got Man City, yeah? I'm sounding like a scratch record. You've got Liverpool, yeah? Brighton, all of these teams. I think at the moment, we're the only Champions League team that hasn't signed a player. 17 players out and 0 bought in. What are we talking about? Big up to Junior, big up to the family, he's saying, and the chat. So, yeah, man, we got to pull our fingers out, man, because, yeah, you know, this Sesko Gokares talk, Zubomendi, we're waiting for that to happen. The Partey situation, it looks like he could be on his way out. What does that mean for us? Yeah, in terms of we're going to be short in midfield. We can't be going into the season with Zubomendi if we get him Odegaard and Moreno. Now, they ain't cutting it. That ain't cutting it, people. It ain't cutting it. But listen, I'm going to stop waffling on, and I'm going to bring in Mr. Big D. What we saying, people?
Yes, sir.
You all good?
Yeah, not bad, mate.
Yeah. How's the weekend and how's the weather been treating you?
Nah, been a good weekend. Had a basketball reunion.
Oh, right, okay.
On Sunday afternoon. Yeah. So the coach that elevated me getting to do my England stuff. Yeah, he was there. I didn't even recognize him. No, I sat next to him. And he said, "I'm Bob." I said, "No, brethren, you're kidding me." But yeah, it was. Yeah, Sheen came as well. Yeah, it was a lovely Father's Day with the man's them and my nephew and his kids and all that. So yeah, it was a nice little gathering, man. So yeah, I was up in the Midlands, you know. Yeah, hot. So was in the garden, man. As Mrs. put on.
Yeah, I mean, today it's about 27 if you're not higher than that.
Yeah.
And I don't know if it's going to get. I don't know if it's going to get hotter during the week, but yeah, it's proper warm. Man.
Yeah, it's going to climb. It's going to climb to around 28, 29 in a lot of places, boy. That's hot, boy.
Man, that's crazy. And then you got the Club World Cup going on in America, and you know, what your thoughts on that? And
I've just been catching snippets of it, Norm. It's like
it's not really kind of interesting.
There's no need for it. Yeah, there's no need for it. You know what I mean? You've seen some. We saw a 10-0 a few days ago, and it was like, come on.
What you mean? Bayern Munich just got scraped by. Got 10-0.
Right? Yeah. I think they were struggling just to get. I mean, it's embarrassing, though. It's embarrassing. Definitely a money spinner.
Yeah.
That's what they wanted, so you have to just let them get on with that, you know?
Yeah, I mean, I can't remember which game it was, yesterday's game. I can't remember who the club was. There was hardly anybody in the stadium.
Yeah, that's what I said. they reduced it. They reduced the ticket prices twice.
Yeah.
And then I said to you, what they end up doing is probably giving it to the kids for free, just to fill the stadiums out, under 16s or whatever. Just give the under 16s a free ticket for a night out. Yes, whole thing's embarrassing, but that's what they wanted to do.
They've got to make their money, and I've got loads of people just making a load of noises in the kitchen. So excuse me, people, if you're in a load of banging in the kitchen. I'm in the dining area, so they always do it. Every time I go live, they just come in and start making noise, unnecessary noise. It's just wind up. Absolute wind up. Big up, Kofi. What you saying, man? I thought you'd be on the show tonight, but obviously you're in the chat.
My guy.
You man's checking out Isak, possibly. Don't know if it's going to happen, but if you do get Isak, bro, it could be all over. Yeah, that's the season done and dusted. Do you know what I mean? But it's kind of transfer rumors as normal, but it is what it is. No, what do you make up? I don't know if we fly the new striker, Merchandino. Yeah,
Merchandino. That's pretty clever. I like that one, Merchandino.
Yeah, but I was I don't know if you know. I was on Sky News the other day. I was on another channel, and I happened to just hop over to Sky News and had to report on the. Yeah, he plays in quite a few positions as well. You know what I mean? He can play goalkeeper. Yeah, he currently plies his trades at the Armory. So
right. There you go, mate.
Big up the main guy. What you saying, man? Big up to you, bro. So listen, we have got a lot to go in. Yeah, my weekend did a bit of first aid. Then I went to my sister's 65th birthday.
Nice.
Let whatever hair I've got down.
The ones.
Yeah, so we had it was a good weekend and everything and stuff like that. And then, it's been good. It's been good. It's been good. But yeah, man. But listen, enough of the chitter chatter now. Let's get into the fixtures. They've come out just before we do actually go into the fixtures. Obviously on the menu tonight, guys. If you haven't heard, we always work with a menu, and the menu tonight it's a complete circus around Arsenal's transfers, absolute clown settings. And I will be changing the mood of my background. As you can see, it's tumbleweed settings right now because nothing ain't going on. Nothing ain't going on in there. Yeah, I don't know if you can see in the far distance.
Tumbleweed,
Can you see any Arsenal transfers? No?
Nah, nothing there, mate.
Get the binoculars on, man. Have a quick look.
I can see I can see a cloud or two on the mountain there. That's about it, bro.
Yeah, they do look tough, Cole. I don't know if tough for you, but obviously it's tough for us. But listen, we have to play what's in front of us. And the thing for me is at the end of the day, we can't moan about it. Yeah. We have to prepare. And the way I look at it is that I look at what we've done so far. We're in the 18th day of the window being open. We didn't do anything in the first 10 days. We're now 18 days in. And people say, stop moaning, calm down, We're only two and a bit months in. Well, listen, the pre-season starts soon. Do you know what I mean? We need to get players in and bed them in. Do you know what I'm trying to say? It's a madness. But
pre-season's in 2 weeks now, isn't it? Pre-season 2 weeks. Yeah, 2 weeks time.
Yeah. Well, is it?
So, probably less than 2 weeks now.
No, 17th of July. I think it starts.
Is it?
Something like that.
Okay. The pre-season.
Well, it might. I think it might be slightly before that, but I know Arsenal fly out around about the 16th or 17th of July. But it might, it might start a bit earlier. Dave, you might want to just double check that up. Do you see Chelsea as a threat as to this season for Arteta, bro? Listen. Well, look, Chelsea. Will they be a threat this season? I think at the moment they haven't really started buying yet. You know what I mean?
Just a striker, just the lad from
Ipswich.
Yeah,
Dilap. I mean, look, I was watching. Obviously, seen him play in the Premier League, man. He's a bit of a bully boy, isn't he? I mean, he's got a bit about him. He's got a bit about him.
Yeah,
but I'm sure they're going to be buying more players. We're going to have to see. I mean, if they get that striker, is Dilap going to be enough for them? That's the question. You know, I mean, Jackson, he has to step up.
No, that's not enough.
The goalkeeping situation. I mean, I don't know how many players they're looking at. Ez would be the one to sort of kind of tell us really what's going to go on there. But look, Arsenal, if we don't get in the required players in the required targets, then I think we're going to struggle to meet top four. I really do think we're going to struggle to get into the top four. Yeah, because you've got Newcastle, you've got Aston Villa, as I say, Man City and Liverpool for me are the ones that are going to be fighting it out for that Premier League title. And Man City are going to come up with some sort of vengeance there. You know what I mean?
Yeah, especially if Liverpool go and spend like 250, 300 million in the window, which could be on the cards, you know.
Well, listen, the Florian Wirtz thing is almost over the line. They got the Courtesy guy from Bournemouth. They got Frimpong there already. Do you know what I mean? And then there's talk, speculation. I don't know how it's true. Kofi can vouch for this to tell us whether there's any truth in Liverpool maybe looking at Isak. They might even, like, if they get rid of Darwin Núñez, Diaz, they might even try and go for Gyökeres, because I think that ship looks like it's been sold now, because at the moment it looks like now we're going for Sesko. Last I heard we was in concrete talks with them. Right now we're now in talks with them. So I don't know where we kind of stand. You know what I'm going to say? It's a bit of a mess right at the moment.
Well, the problem we have is especially with Gyökeres, right? There was so I have a feeling that because of the back and forth with him and the owners of Sporting, I actually think that Sporting released this thing about rejecting United and prioritizing Arsenal, right? Now, I'm sure Fab jumped on that early. Then I saw this again from Fab saying that Victor Gyökeres didn't say no to Manchester United or his camp inform United about rejecting them. He's just giving priority to Arsenal as long as Arsenal option is available and on the table. Now, for me, if I'm United, I'm like, cool, bro, bounce. Like, I'm not even talking to him now, because you have to remember, Arsenal or United haven't even put in a cheeky bid for it to get rejected.
Yeah.
So why would he say I'm prioritizing?
Well, this was you know what I mean? I don't know if it was a couple of days before. So yeah, this was what was sort of being chucked out at the weekend, and everybody, all Arsenal fans, were getting excited. Victor Gyökeres' priority is to join Arsenal this summer, despite calls from Manchester United in recent weeks. And this is from Fabrizio. Gyökeres always an option amid Sesko talks with no deal sealed so far. Arsenal keep assessing the situation. United remain keen, but believe that the deal now is unlikely.
But no, this is my thing about Fab, right? And he's been doing this in the last couple of seasons, is that he wants to be first rather than right.
Yeah.
I'd rather wait and just be right.
Yeah.
And stop tweeting stuff and then having to literally circle back and say, yeah, listen, I jumped the gun here. Let me revisit this in another way. And for me, like, if you look at David Ornstein, I'm looking more to Ornstein for my news than Fab now, honestly, because Fab just wants to be first.
Yeah,
rather than right.
Just
be right, bro. You know what I mean? You don't need to be first. Right.
No, you're absolutely right. No, I do kind of get that impression.
Yeah,
because it almost seems like he's backtracked on that to now say that. I mean, I had the actual audio for it, but you said you read it out, so I was gonna play the audio of him sort of stating what you just said. So again, where does Man United stand with it? Where does Arsenal stand with it? Because now what I'm hearing now is that Gyökeres is absolutely fuming with Sporting Lisbon for now messing up that, because Arsenal refusing to pay that kind of fee for a player of his age. But I'm looking at thinking, you've scored 39 goals, go for him. We're now looking at Sesko now. Concrete talks. It was concrete talks a couple of weeks ago. Now all of a sudden is now we're back in talks with him. So I'm confused. I'm confused, and to be perfectly honest, my mood changes, and when my mood changes, the background changes as well.
I hear you.
No, it does, and right now, this is what we're dealing with now. Yeah, this is where we're at now. This is what we're doing. this is what we're doing. Yeah, this is a circus. Yeah. We're the big top. It's a circus right now. It's an absolute circus behind us.
You know what, Norm? It's actually unfortunate that Gyökeres didn't get this alleged handshake conversation in writing, because now I think Sporting are hanging him out to dry. And because they said something like, "Oh, we're not saying we're looking for 100 million, but it could be 95 million." You know what I mean? So okay, you saying, "Oh yeah, he'll be below." Give a price. They don't want to give a price. They want a bidding war.
Yeah.
And for me, if I'm United, I'm just going to pull out and say to Arsenal, you know what? You man's are in Champions League. He's spoken about Champions League football. We're not there. And I think if we pull out, what it does then, it forces your Arteta's hand really, because now he's got to make a choice, Sesko or him. And I think either way, he's going to have to overpay for either of them. And for me, if I'm Man United, once he started talking about Champions League football in the early doors, because you have to remember as well, I don't know if you know this, but his agent is the same agent that did a nonsense with Frenkie de Jong. And for me, I don't want us to waste another summer like we did on Frenkie. Forget it. Go find a striker, because Haaland ain't it.
Yeah.
And if this man's chatting about what Chris is saying, Champions League football, cool, bro. Go play Champions League. That means it's Arsenal.
Yeah.
But he doesn't want to be pushed, because basically he's like, if he gets rejected by Arsenal, then he's looking at United to come and save him. Nah, bruh. I'm good.
Yeah.
That's how I feel right now. I'm good. I'm like.
So D, so what you're saying basically is that because he's kind of sort of turned around and snubbed you, you're not prepared to go for him.
This is the thing. I don't know whether he's snubbed me, but the mere fact that his agent has not done things right, because I think the club released this about him not wanting to come to United and prioritising them. I think Sporting did that to mess him up, because he's giving it the big one. So for me, I'm like, bro, you're already a circus. We can't afford the circus at United after finishing 15th with a minus 10 goal difference. So I'd rather not go there and have him come, and then now the pressure of Old Trafford and the number 9 and the badge is too heavy and he don't perform. Because now I'm fuming that we're overpaid for a striker. It was a circus to get him here. And the same agent as Frenkie de Jong did that nonsense the whole window. I'm like, nah, man, I'd rather we walk away, go look at someone else, figure it out.
Well, yeah, I mean, there's a number of targets that you're linked with. I think the guy Ekiteke from Frankfurt.
Ekiteke,
they're talking again some mad prices for him. I mean, the guy's only scored something like 15, 16 goals, like in the Bundesliga for Frankfurt.
Right.
And that, but I think that's asking a bit too much for him. Do you know what I mean?
But so there's that thing. But this is my thing. We're the team before the team in terms of this team isn't challenging for a title.
Yeah.
So if you get Gokeres, you're getting him because you're challenging for a title.
Yeah.
We're challenging to get the top 8 now.
Yeah.
So this is my thing.
Yeah.
Go get Mateta. Right?
Yeah.
Just go get Mateta.
That's a shout.
And finish with that. Because this guy is going to come and the pressure's going to lick him. He can have 2 tough games where centre-back's going to beat him up because he's come to Old Trafford as a second choice. I don't want him as a second choice. I'd rather we just move away from that. And I'm okay with that. Some fans might not agree with that. But we don't need any drama, Norm. We got enough drama. We got Sancho. We got Rashford. We got Anthony. Yeah. We got bare drama, Norms.
Yeah, because at the moment, the situation with Rashford, Barcelona, I think with Nico Williams possibly going there now, that's probably scuppered that deal.
Yeah.
So you're left with a guy, I think you're asking something like 40 million for him, plus his wages. Barcelona going to do that, 27-year-old?
Who can afford that? You guys, Newcastle, and Man City.
I wouldn't take.
And he's not going to either of them places.
No,
he wants out. He wants out of the Premier League. So he's literally got all his eggs in the Barcelona basket. I think it's naive because he doesn't start for Barcelona, in my opinion. Is he willing to hold bench at Barcelona? Maybe not. And who's going to pay that for a bench player on that kind of money? But there's rumors that he said he would lower his wage demand if Barcelona came in. So we'll see. If they come in, does he say, right, okay, you know what, I'll drop to a light 180? Because he's made his money, though. And if he retires now, Rashford has made his money in football, if he just calls it a day right now. So anything else, it's like, bro, do you want to play football or not?
No, mate. Big up to the Shane, man. What you're saying, brother. Big up to
you, Shane.
And subscribe to Shane Gooner. Absolutely fantastic job. The Irish breakfast in the morning, bruised banana in the evening. So he's doing bits, man. Please go and subscribe to him. And if anybody could put his link in there, or even Shane, if you want to put your own link in there, feel free to do it. Same with Arsenal Revolution. Big up to Rashid, man. Stick your link in the chat. Yeah, we move, mate. And Kofi's saying the way moving Madrid are teasing players. Big up sentiments. You're hi ho, and that's what we are. Big up Rashid, man. Yes, smash up the likes, please. Smash up the likes. What's sentiment say? Big up North D. Salute to legends.
Yeah,
well, something. You know what I mean? At least something is nice. The weather, but bro,
yeah.
Our transfer window is a bit of a circus right now, a merry-go-round, because as I said, we don't know if we're coming or going. And the situation with the Partey situation as well, Big D, is that they can't agree a deal with him, so it looks like we could lose Partey because he's just turned 32. He's on 200. I mean, listen, I understand he's on two. But this is what Arsenal do anyway. I'm not saying Partey is overpaid because I think he's a brilliant number 6. Yeah, he's the best player last season. You know, in that sort of top 3 in our club.
Yeah. In that holding midfield role.
Yeah, and for me, I think he played 30 odd games. Was really injured, but it's that risk that they're saying they don't. His agents are pushing for more for him. Do you know what I mean?
What looking for a 2-year deal?
2-year deal and getting more pay as well. He doesn't want to sit on 200,000, so he's currently on 200,000 a week at the moment. Now, if we lose him, we're still not sure if we're getting Zubimendi. Yeah, I'm still waiting. I don't know what's going on with that. Yeah? Apparently, it's going to be announced on the 1st of July because obviously Real Sociedad have got to sort out their financial books and all that. That's why they can't announce it. Yeah, but I don't know if we've triggered it because I'm sure you can trigger it and then announce it. So I don't understand, mate. It's a circus, bro.
Because if you look at a lot of these players, right? Well, you know, the players on big money, like they actually behave as CEOs of companies. So I say, 200K a week is not enough for me, bruh. That's 800 grand a month. What are you chatting about? You're not the CEO. You're a football player. Yeah. But because of what they see in the American sports, it turns their heads. You have to remember how big America is. How big America is compared to England in terms of land mass and populations within the different states. Yep. So when a man is in England earning 800K a month, relax, what?
Yep.
You're 32 years old earning 800 grand a month, and you're like, yeah, I need more money. Like, come on, man, it's ridiculous. It's just greed. It really is. Because if you want to play football, you should play football because these players now have people that advise them. None of these players should be skint no. If they're skint, that means they've got nobody advising them what to do with their money, or they're not paying their taxes or whatever else they may not be doing. But if I'm on 800K a month and I'm saying, I want a 2-year contract, you got to pay me more money. Like, bro, you're 32 years old. I don't get it. I don't get it. You're not the CEO of Arsenal Football Club. You're a player within a team of a 26, 27 man squad. It's like, yeah, man.
I mean, listen, he's an integral part of the team, and as I said, he's our best number 6. I think the problem what we're going to have now, the situation we're going to have now, if we lose Partey, it means now we got to go and try and get in there because we've lost Jorginho because he's gone. Right? So Zubimendi would have probably been the you could say he's either Jorginho replacement because if we're keeping Partey, see, we're possibly going into a season with. Partey, Zubimendi, Odegaard, and Moreno.
Right.
That ain't cutting it, D, for me. Right. That ain't cutting it for me. Because Moreno, as far as we're concerned, is not good enough. Oh, yeah. Let's add Lukonga to that as well. Yeah? Yeah?
Oh, yeah, Lukonga. Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah? You know, he's come back from loan. We need to sell his butt. We need to sell this guy's butt, bro, because he's not good enough. Yeah? That's why I'm saying the transfer window for me at the moment is non-existent. It's a circus, as you can see. It's a circus, clowns, clown settings. All right, and for me, we are not preparing to go into a season now. The season, our first 6 fixtures, they're not easy. But I'm not saying at the end of the day we have to play what's in front of us. But let's go in there prepared. I feel right now underprepared. D. I don't know how you
Right.
feel for
Yeah.
your club. I don't know how
Yeah.
you feel for. I know you got Bremo. At least you got some, not Bremo, Cunha
Yeah.
over the line. At least you got somebody over the line.
Well,
What we talking
I think
about
the
here?
problem I have with United is there's so many players that Ruben wants gone, and they're all still here, whether they're on holiday or whatever. You know what I mean? They're all still on the books,
Yeah.
and I do believe that for a striker, I think we need to be able to move a couple of players on to be able to facilitate a new striker, as well as if we're going to continue with the Mbemo
Yeah,
deal. You know
because
what I mean?
because listen, the talk with the Mbemo situation.
Yeah.
Yeah. Big up, Mr. Robo. What you say, man? Big up to you, man. Please,
Yeah,
again,
man.
if you could put his link in the chat, I appreciate that, bro. Big up to Robo doing bits on YouTube as well. We must do a collab, bro. You know what I mean? You're in my chat, I'm in your chat. So listen, we need to link up. Yeah. So big up to you, bro. Big up for coming in and checking in. But yeah, sorry, D, you were saying.
Yeah. It's moving the pieces to finish the business. Now there was rumors that Mboma was saying that he doesn't want to live in Newcastle. I don't know how true that is. And even if he doesn't, I actually wouldn't come out and say that. So this could be again paper talk or agents trying to stir stuff up. Like if there's something that's personal to me, I'm not going to come out and say that. You know what I mean? Because then there's a level of, are you hating on a city or people that live in that city? It comes away from football. So for me, these players need to just stick to football. Just whatever comments you make out loud, make sure they're football comments. You don't get yourself in trouble. Because like if you say, yeah, man, like, you know, you say Burnley, I'm not going to Burnley. I don't want to live in Burnley. Like if you say that, even if you're jesting and you're on someone's podcast and you say that, straight away you're going to get dragged by people that live in that area. So for me, just do football. And then that's what I say. This is where I think sometimes the agents are very messy, Norm, and they don't help the players. And as well, because the agents want more money, they're pushing for the players to be more and more unreasonable with the club. When for me and you looking in, that's great money.
What's the fee that Man United are prepared to pay for Brian? And I know there was talk about he wants something in the region of 200 something thousand, which is
right
quadrupling what he's on now. He's on like 40. Well, actually,
45 grand.
He's on 45 grand.
45 grand. Yeah, apparently.
What would you be prepared to pay him? If you
he has to be. Wow, it's mad. Because basically Brentford want what we paid for Cunha.
Right. Okay.
Plus the add-ons. So I think that's where the sticking point went. Where United were hoping.
Look at it. I mean, you got to understand, yeah.
Yeah.
Look what he done for Brentford. 20.
I know.
Not 20 goals. Not 20 goals in all competition. 20 Premier League goals.
Premier League goals. Yeah.
Is that worth its weight in gold?
Yes, and this is the problem: is that every team knows that we struggle to score goals.
Yeah.
So you go for a player that is a natural goal scorer and gets his fair share of assists. They're just going to sit back and say, well, you can't be that broke because you just paid this for Cunha. And allegedly you're looking at Gokeres. You're looking at this one, the other guy that you just spoke about. So there's always this respect, man. There's always this looking in as fans, like we can be ambitious, but we have no control over the purse strings. And I think with United, under Ineos, they're trying not to do bad business, Norm, because they're stuck with all these players that were bad business, big contracts that we can't move on because nobody wants to pay Rashford's $325 a week. For what? You know what I mean? He's more of a fashion icon, rapper-looking brother now than a footballer. So for them, they're like, well, can we guarantee Rashford focus? No. So I think with the owners, they're like, okay, we've got to do business. We need goals, but at the same time, we can't get mugged off like we've done in the past. Otherwise, the club just keeps going in a spiral. There's no leveling out here, and I think they're trying to level out where they're saying, right, anyone comes in now in this model, like I said to you earlier, we're the team before the team. We're the team trying to get in the top 8, not the team trying to challenge for a title. So we have to be mindful, like, let's not be delusional and pretend we're that team. We're the team trying to get to top 8 from finishing 15th, which is a, 7 spot jump.
Yeah.
That's what we're trying to do. Well,
Yeah.
not, like I said earlier, go and get a Gokares. Yes, if we're challenging for the title, we're not challenging for the title. Go get me Mateta and see if Mateta, Cunha, and Mbomo can elevate us into at least a Europa League spot.
Yeah.
You never know how the dice will roll. Team injuries and certain teams that we think are nailed on for the top four might not happen. But I'm just being sensible on what I saw last season. I'm still not convinced about Ruben. He's got to show me some stuff once he spends the money. And that's why I said, that's what I've been saying. Buy players for Man United. Don't buy players for Ruben. Because if you fire him at Christmas, that's a whole other problem again. So buy players for the systems. And I want to see us try and play more than one system, Norm.
Well,
that we can switch back to a 4-3-3 when we need to.
Yeah.
You know that ones?
Do you know what, D? I think that's Arsenal's problem, or should I say Arteta's problem, because he's frightened, like, because there's this whole thing about bringing in Sesko because he fits our system, and Gokkers doesn't really fit our system. The way I look at it, I say all the time, you're paid 15.6 million, do your job. Exactly. Do your job as a coach, as a manager. I'm sure when you go to coaching schools and you had your coaching badges, you learn different ways of playing. Problem with Arsenal, and I'll say time and time again, I've said it on streams, we're too predictable. Yeah, we're too predictable. Teams know exactly what we're going to do. All right, with our left backs inverting, especially on the left hand side. All right, or so I say what's the name, wing backs. Right, he likes them to invert. Okay. We have spent X amount of millions on a left back who now we got a proper left back that has now departed the club and gone to Celtic. And now we have a Lewis Skelly who's a number 8 playing as a left back, who's now potentially our best left back because Calafiori was brought in to be that left back, but he was injured. So basically, Miles Lewis Skelly's way into the team was basically, and Arteta said it, well, this was your only way into the team. Yeah, so we have a guy, and you saw how he got exposed, especially in the last few games that we played at the back end of the last season. Yeah. And then in that Senegal game, he got proper exposed in the Champions League game, getting exposed because you're up against quality players. Yeah. We need to, listen, we're linked with a guy called Joe Ato from Ajax, 19-year-old. We've been looking at him for a long time. I think Chelsea are interested in him, and I can't remember, there's another team that's interested in him. Now he's 19, but he's played a load of games. He's played for internationally as well. So he's played for his country and stuff like that. He can play as a centre back, but primarily he's a left back. Just go and buy a proper left back, because what's happening right now around the circus in Arsenal now is this, right? D, is that we are looking at Sesko, we're looking at Gokares, and we're juggling here and trying to work out what is the best deal and blah blah. I'm not prepared. I'm sorry. I know it's not my money, but you're going to pay. They're asking for like something like between 80 to 85 million pounds for Sesko.
It's a lot, Norm. It's a lot
for a guy that scored only 13 goals. Yeah. Right.
Because this what happens, Norm. You can't afford to make, just how we made that Hoyland mistake. You guys can't afford to make that mistake. Because at least you're actually competing.
Yeah.
So you can't afford to make that mistake. You're actually too close to a title to go and buy a striker that may be good enough.
I don't. Yeah.
I mean, it's
I mean,
and not 85 million either. No, that's way too much.
Well, just like, listen, it'll probably be paid. The aberration thing over. Their what you call it, contract length for their contract, but that means you still got other players where you're paying over their contract as well. So yes, we might not be saying, right, here's the full 85 million, because you're going to be paying over a course of their contract length of their contract.
But that's
why I'm just thinking to myself, well, you know what I mean? We're supposed to have this war chest and we're haggling. And maybe the reason why we're haggling is because you've got so much people on high wages, plus you're still paying for Jesus, you're still paying for Havertz and all that. So it may not look as rosy as what we think.
Yeah. But this is what I was saying to you a few weeks back, Norm. Before we did the Cunha deal, we had 94 million go out in installment payments for players already on the books. So before we spent a single penny in this transfer window, 94 million was already off the books to pay for installments. 10 million here, 15 million here, whatever it was.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
So the course of their contract.
Right. So we've already spent money. Well, in theory, we've already spent 160 grand.
Million.
Well, I say that because I think we got the Cunha deal down to the first installment and either 2 or 3 more after that. I think it's 3 after that.
Right.
So just say you say argument, first installment for Cunha was 25k or something like that. Or 20, say 20 grand. Right.
If it's 25 grand, that's fine. But if it's 25 mil, then it's a different thing.
Mil. I wish it was 25 grand. 25 mil, no, thank you. But so Man United are already 115, 118 million in already with just one signing coming in.
Right.
And you remember what he said? He said, I put 300 million in and then Papa Smoke, it was gone.
Gone like that, yeah.
So you tell me. I'm seeing the Sancho thing about Napoli.
Yes.
And apparently he's keen. Get him gone.
So what sort of money are they talking for him? 25,
I think. Because if you think about it, Norm, it'd be a 30 million deal because we got 5 million for Chelsea returning him, which is funny. And then if we sell him for 25 and whatever the add-ons are, 5 million in add-ons, you know, that's good for a problem child. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah, just get him gone. Like, don't play games. If he wants to go there, he's keen. Make it happen. Even if you knock 5 million off it, because you got 5 million from Chelsea.
So who are the players that you think are likely that you'll definitely get some sort of money for? So do you think Sancho is what would you rate it out of 10 in terms of him leaving the club in the summer?
I think it's a strong 8.
Strong 8, yeah?
Yeah, because Ruben wants him gone. Yeah. So that forces the agent's hand to say, well, I don't want my player just sitting in the reserves at Old Trafford. I need him playing football. Okay. Because then that comes endorsements, that comes in more money for me as an agent. So I think the agent will work hard to get, whether it be Napoli or one of the other Italian clubs. We have to remember as well, Norman, the Italian clubs don't have a lot of money. So they're always looking to do the cheeky loan deals and all that nonsense. I don't really want a loan deal. Give me a light 20 million for him because we got 5 from Chelsea. There's your 25, 5 million in add-ons if he achieves X, Y, Z. You know what I mean?
Okay. Right. So you've got Marcus Rashford. Out of 10, what's your chance of him going this summer?
4 on loan. 4 out of 10 on loan.
4 out of 10 on loan?
As in selling him? Nah, not a chance. I think his contract's till 2028 now. Or 2029, some madness like that.
That's crazy.
So I just don't know. Unless he goes to Saudi League, I don't know who picks up that huge wage tab. Yeah. That's the only place he's going to go and get that kind of money is Saudi, and he won't want to go to Saudi.
Okay. Garnacho, he's out. He's on his way out.
Yeah. I think he's about 30 around the 30 million mark.
Anybody? I'm hearing that he wants to stay in the Premier League.
Right.
Please don't say
no. Come and rescue him, then.
No way, Jose.
Come cover for Saka for your star boy.
No way, Jose.
Normski, you know it makes sense.
No, it doesn't.
Cover for your star boy.
It probably does make sense. It probably does make sense.
Chelsea.
No, circus team. Well, yeah. I mean, Chelsea. I mean, he was linked with Chelsea. We was linked with Chelsea in the January window.
In January, and we decided not to go ahead with the deal.
What's the chance? What was your rating out of 10 for him to go?
Again, I'm going to say like Sancho, he's going to be a strong 8 because Ruben already told him, good luck finding a new club in the summer. Okay, once your manager tells you that, you're done. So his brother now has to come off Twitter and start earning his money. Right. And find his younger brother or older brother, whatever. I don't know which one's younger or older, but find his brother a deal. And he may not. He wants to stay in the Premier League so he can come back and stick 2 twos up to the United fans.
Yeah.
Allow it, bro. Go abroad.
Casemiro.
Kaz has to stay for me, no?
He's got to stay up, eh?
He has to stay for me, yeah. Because what we can't do, what Chelsea did, get rid of so many senior players that the youngsters are out of control.
Right.
And you saw it last season. You need some old head. Plus, you're bringing in a Brazilian in Cunha. You brought in a Brazilian. Yeah, man. He's a teammate. Keep a Brazilian. And you keep a Brazilian. Yeah, he does. I mean, I saw videos of him playing street football in Brazil yesterday.
Yeah.
I don't want to see that, no. I get it. You go back to your community, you're feeling yourself, you're at United now. I don't want to see you kicking football on concrete with no shin pads. Nah, brother. You know the ones? And then you limp back to training pre-season, talking about you injured. No.
Yeah.
And someone needs to call his agent and say, yeah, get him on a plane, back. And yeah, that thing's over.
I'm sure there's other fringe players. So I'm going to go with 2 more players. I'm actually 3. I'm going to go with Anthony, Maguire, and Luke Shaw. So Anthony, what's the chances of Anthony staying, or is he going to go?
I think Anthony goes on loan, Norm.
Yeah.
Because Real Betis don't have the money. And United are not just going to give him away.
Is he going to go back to Real Betis, do you think?
Yeah, that's what I think. I think he goes back there on loan again for a second loan. But then what we have to do, Norm, is obligation to buy. Well, that didn't work with Sancho,
you're going to have to maybe look at that.
But whatever the obligation, however we term it, there's no 5 million to take him back. At the end of the season, you give us like 20, 25 million for him, and we're done with that. I think we're happy with that. He's happy with that.
That money will obviously go on next year's book. That will go on next year's books, yeah.
Right.
Maguire.
I think Harry stays.
Okay.
I think it's too costly to replace him.
I was going to say, is it because you wanted to stay, or do you think he's now suiting the way Amarim is playing and has pretty much calmed everybody's nerves? Because a couple of seasons ago, everybody wanted him out.
You know what, Norm? I want him gone because even playing in the back 3, he can't push up anything over the top. Isaac, your star boy, anything over the top, my man's gone. You know. Yes, what that? What you saying, man?
I said, evening, gents. Laugh out loud. Arsenal, the Lauren Hardy club. Yeah, look,
Hardy,
bro, that's what we are right now. Until we don't sort out business, it's Lauren Hardy. And look at these 2 people behind me. Yeah, these 2 clowns, man. Yeah, put a name to it, bro. Put a name to it. Yeah, go on, see it.
Yeah, that's what I would say. What are you doing with?
What are you doing with
Zerkam stays, bruh. I tell you what, because you see Zerkam, right? Zerkam can play in that 9. He's telling us it's not a 9, but he's got great feet. And if he has them two absolutely goal machines playing in the 10, he can hold the ball up and he can just, he could be nipping and tucking on and making things work.
Mr. Roberts saying quite a few mixed reports on him, though.
Well, he was out partying in somewhere. Was it Barbados or somewhere like that? He was letting his hair down. But you know what? Our fan base booed this kid off. This young kid, we booed him off the pitch at half time. When the truth is, the whole team was playing badly, and he was a sacrificial lamb. And I didn't like Ruben for that. I thought that was really murky. There was no need to do that. At least let the kid get to half time and we figure it out in the changing room. So that was unnecessary. I think he's bounced back fairly well. Obviously, not the finished article. He's still got a lot, but he's got great feet. And I've always felt that we look better with him in the side, even though he was constantly starting Hoyland over him. As in holding the ball up, playing in, the wing backs and just linking well. And I think he'll relish playing with some like-minded players rather than Hoyland. And so for me, Zerkam stays.
Okay, and I'm gonna finish off with Luke Shaw.
Oh no, I'd give him away, bro. Honestly, I'll say, Luke, how much do we owe you? There you go. Here's your 15 million, son. You got 10 minutes to empty your locker, and after that, security. I would do it, no. I don't want him anywhere near that first team squad. Anywhere near it. Bad influence. Not a great professional. Okay, you know what? Back in the day when he broke his leg, that was unfortunate. But he's had ample opportunity, Norm, to make that situation right. And he don't do it, man. Every summer he's injured, but then he's fit for England to play in the tournament. He's fit to play for United in a final. And then, he don't look after himself, Norm. For me, poor professional. And what you don't want is someone like him influencing them young kids that we got around at the moment. Just paying what he's done. Or you loan him to one of the teams that whether Leeds or one of them, you loan him to one of them teams.
Yeah.
I was talking to JP about that, and JP said, I didn't figure that, loan him to one of the newly promoted teams. Because he probably starts for them once he's fit. How long does he stay fit? And then obviously we got to pay up his wages. Fair enough. But at least they get a senior player. I just don't want him around the new rebuild of United. I don't want him there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Remember, Alex Ferguson bought him. So this guy's been around to watch 6 managers get fired. Get him gone. Get him gone now.
He's been there for time.
Right.
He's been there since what, 2000 and 11?
Something like that, or 12. Yeah, 2011 or 2012. Get him gone now.
Yeah, man. That's whoa. That's tight there, man. He's done time.
And the thing is, because he's so injured, Norm.
Yeah.
No one's talking about him. Like you bring them up. If you didn't bring him up, I wouldn't even, because I don't even see him as Man United player in my head. Because you brought him up, I'm like, yeah, we still got Luke Shaw, right?
Yeah. So
we got to fix that.
Mr. Robert was saying, who would you take though, and more importantly, why would they?
Who would I take instead of who?
Yeah. I'm assuming. Are you saying?
Is this instead of Luke Shaw?
Is that what you're saying, Mr. Robo? If that's what you're saying, put that. Just make that clarify.
Because the thing is, we got Lenny Euro that can play there, and we got that guy you kindly gifted us, Norm, for like million. Haven.
Mr. Haven.
We got cover, bro. I don't care about Luke Shaw. We got 2 guys that can angle that. Trust me.
Right. Okay.
I'm good.
So I think essentially what you're saying, just give him away. I think maybe that's what you're saying.
If we owe him 12, give him his 12.
Sure to Napoli. Who are they buying? League cast off.
You know what, Dell? If they come in, man, I'm.
Well, you got to look what's happened. Oh, McTominay's gone there and won a league title with them.
Exactly. Go follow McSauce and win yourself a title in Italy. Because the pace would suit him, actually.
Yeah.
Okay, he's on about Luke Shaw. Well, there you go. WhatsApp just gave you a good thing. Give Shaw to Arsenal compensation.
Adrian McCarp said, give Shaw to Arsenal compensation for 8 yards. Don't do us like that.
Listen, you're more than welcome, But you have to remember, Luke is on. What's he on? I think he's on about 160, 170, Norms.
Wow.
Yeah, he's on about that, Norms. About 160, 170.
He hardly plays. A little bit like Tommy
maybe even a little bit more than that. Maybe a touch more than that. Because remember, it was Ollie gave him a decent bomb pot, man, in that extension. It was Ollie that did that to us.
Okay.
See, Ollie wants a punch in his nose. No violence, people. No violence.
Mr. Rowan say, by the way, what is the goalkeeping situation looking like for you guys? Because obviously, Onana, what's happening with him?
He wants to stay. He really believes that he's him after these 2 seasons. I tell you, I told you guys who I want, but we're not going to go and do it. And Newcastle going to do it. James Trafford from Burnley.
Yeah.
That's what I want.
Yeah, you did.
And I've been saying it for months now. But we're just not going to do that deal. Because this now someone said something to me yesterday that what we should do is go after Martinez, give Martinez the number 1 shirt because Onana wears the number 24 by his choice, and then you bench Onana as cover for Martinez. You say, well, you're wearing 24 is the number that's really rough, isn't it? That's what I mean. If Man United got anything gangster about them, if Ines got, that's what they would do. They said, man, you're playing the cup games, FA Cup, League Cup, and anytime this guy attacks them up or gets suspended, then you jump in. Then I think that forces Onana's hand. He'll look from the club. He'll be gone.
Yeah. Well, listen, talking about goalkeeping situation, in Arsenal, it looks like we're gonna get Kepa from Chelsea. And do you want Hein? You want Hein from us? Do you want him? Would you take? He's our third choice goalkeeper.
What's it?
Carl Hein.
I haven't. You seen him? Has he played anything though?
Well, he was on loan. I forgot the club that he was on loan to. I mean, they got relegated. I think. If you put it in the chat for us, Rob, I can't remember. Who it was.
All right.
But, you know, he's you see, for me, getting this Kepa guy, yes, we've spent 5 million on him, right? But I was just reading this thing from AFC stuff, right? Now, I don't know what you make of this, D, right? And how you would translate this, right? So, Kepa as a Balaga, yeah, to Arsenal is basically done. That's what they're saying. They said the initial information was that he didn't want to be the backup keeper to Raya, yeah, having been playing every week for Bournemouth, right? Yeah, playing every week for Bournemouth.
Right.
Excuse me. There was interest from some other good clubs to make him #1. So that surprised me that he would be up for that. What does that say to you? Knowing what Arsenal do when they bring players in, what does that say to you? Yeah, I'll read it again. I'll read the last bit again. So he wanted to be #1, right? But having playing at Bournemouth every week, there was interest from other clubs. So the fact that he said yes to Arsenal, that surprised people. What has made him change his mind to stay as the #2 as opposed to being one of the #1? What is coming to play? I'm not going to give it away. I'm going to see what your thoughts are if you're thinking like the way I'm thinking.
Probably money.
Exactly.
And false hope.
Yeah.
Yeah. I would say those two things, money and false hope, where someone at the club has said to him, listen, man, this guy is subject to a few mistakes here and there. If you get the nod.
He's on I'm sure he's on the same money as him. I'm sure he's on the same money as Raya. Yeah?
Because you have to remember as well.
How can your second choice keeper be on the same money as Raya?
He's a petulant child. We saw this at Chelsea. You know what I mean? Where he was being subbed and he said, no, relax. You ain't subbing me.
Yeah.
No, can I just address that comment from Dell about Trafford?
Oh, yeah, this one. Yep. Let's go back to that.
I'm not sure he is. Because what the England, I don't follow England, as you know, but the England setup is Pickford, Henderson, and Trafford, right? So as soon as Pickford goes, them two are finding out. This kid could be England #1. And he's done an amazing job helping Burnley back in the Premier League. And so you could go and get a foreign keeper. Foreign keeper's going to have to settle. I'm trying to think about logic, and I know that's always work in football. But you go and get a foreign that's going to come to Manchester. He's going to say, all right, reigns to me. This guy's in Burnley. He reigns just as much in Burnley as he does in Manchester.
Yeah.
So the weather's not going to bother him. He's already in the England setup. He's just been promoted. I'm going to roll a dice on him, Dale. Honestly, I'm going to roll a dice on him. Because someone else will, whether it be a Newcastle or somebody, will roll a dice on him. And then when he starts having blinders, I'm going to sit there and go, he was available, and we just sat on our hands because Onana said he wants to stay. I mean, I'm hearing Haaland saying he wants to stay and fight for his place. Bro, you had 2 seasons to make that #9 spot yours, and you didn't. So what place you fighting for?
Yeah.
Get out of here, bro. Even when Eric Ten Hag,
Big up JP, man. What you saying, man? What you saying, brother?
Even when Eric Ten Hag was giving him the nod week in, week out over anybody else, he still didn't say, right, I am him.
Yeah.
And again, he had company to help him settle in. Ericsson was there. So we had a fellow countryman at the club to help him settle in. So he can't even say, well, I came to Manchester and I was the only person from my country playing for that team and it was really difficult. Nah, bro, you had a countryman, a captain, an absolute general of a football player that was playing with a pacemaker, helping you settle in. And you still can hit a barn door, bro. So I don't want to hear that. I really don't want to hear that he's going to fight for his spot. Nah, you had your chance to do that. Move him on. Again, we got to take a huge loss, Norm, if we try and move him on. So him again could be a loan deal if he's gone.
So why did Henderson make it at Man U?
For me, I would say a bit of arrogance and that #1 shirt, or him trying to fight for a #1 shirt, it got too heavy for him. And I remember when he got his chance.
Who did he go on loan to, D, again? Who was it that he went on loan to?
Yeah, he did, didn't he?
Who was the club he went on loan to?
Where did he go?
because he was giving a lot of mouth,
Yeah,
didn't he?
because he actually said something like, if Eric Ten Hag had seen me actually play, he wouldn't have loaned me out.
Who was it again?
So he was with the chat, and so
was it
he had to go in the end. He was
Sheffield United.
Right.
That's right.
And then they get relegated.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Oh, nice one, JP. Good stuff.
Okay.
Leeds Uni, that's a good uni.
Big up, man. I hope everything goes well. Could he be a Leeds United? Could he be a Leeds United?
Nah, his dad is a mank. He's got to be a mank.
Big up, man. Big up.
Sheffield United. But I think did he get relegated with them?
Who's that? Henderson.
Henderson.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, he got relegated with them, and then he came back, didn't he?
Yeah.
Sheffield United. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, and when he had his chance, he didn't light the world up. It's actually been better for Palace, I believe. I thought he had a very good season for Palace this season. And I saw, but why couldn't you do that for us? Because you know what? The badge on the chest is way heavier than a Crystal Palace badge, regardless of their man. When you come there, 77,000 in that stadium, you look down on that badge on your chest and start getting palpitations, bruh. You know the ones?
Yeah.
And we've seen many good players come to Old Trafford and crumble. Absolutely unrecognizable. Sancho being one from Arsenal. Came there, you just didn't even recognize this guy. You're like, why go on here? So for me, like a lot of players can talk, but when they get the big opportunities to come to the big stadiums and show out, they can't do it. They get stage fright.
What
stage fright?
There's a lot of money, obviously, with Florian Wirtz, pretty much a done deal for Liverpool.
Yeah.
And you got some fans, especially some Arsenal fans, hating on him. I'm sure there's other fans doing it as well. But do you think that with the price that they're paying for him, 116 million plus whatever add-ons, do you think he will come in, hit the ground running? Or do you think he might flop? I mean, look, we've seen players come in, and flop. But you don't go out and splash that kind of money out on a player and know that for a fact that this guy's going to come in and do that. I mean, what are your general thoughts on that? I mean, listen, I don't want him to work. I'm not going to lie. I don't want him to work. But the reality is,
it's an interesting one. I'll be intrigued to think what Wilder thought. He was too big. Too big for his boots.
Yeah.
You saw this at Old Trafford WhatsApp. He was constantly talking himself up, and so I look at that. Is it true that Sandro could move to Napoli for as little as 20 million euros? Yeah, bro, because we got that like 5 million back from Chelsea. So yeah, we have to take the hit. My God, we got to take the hit on Sancho, because the truth is he doesn't want to come back to Man United, and he's openly saying that as well. He's saying that, he's just saying that to whoever will listen. So why would you bring him back? Because his loan's finished. Yeah. I actually would have just said to Chelsea, okay, have him for 20 then. I'd have actually just cut 5 mil off it, to just forget giving us 5, just take him for 20 and finish with that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because that way he's not your problem anymore. So if the Napoli move is really one that can be facilitated, get him gone. I don't care. 25 mil, get him gone. Because what do we pay for him? It was around 70, wasn't it, no? Around that? Around the 70 mark. So you're not getting that for him. He's the problem child, man. And the problem child that doesn't want to stay at home.
It's a shame that
you can lock him in the bedroom.
Yeah.
You can lock him in the bedroom.
Listen, I wish we could take a hit on this guy. But listen, Arteta ain't letting this guy out his hand. And this is the reason why we're in the position we are. This is the reason why we're going for the likes of Sesko. Sesko, Havertz Part 2. Yeah? That's what it is, right? And the problem is if we are going to go and spend £85 million on Sesko for him to come on and sit on the bench,
he can't be a project striker, no.
But
he can't be back up to Havertz. He can't be.
Yeah, but it's that thing. This is what's happening. He will be
crazy, no.
My word. When that season opened, when we turn up at Old Trafford, the first day of the season, Kai Havertz will be starting that game.
No, I tell you what, you see this whole first game, you see this Super Sunday, Norm?
4:30.
Everton Super Sunday. You're
4:30.
like, this league loves drama, man, don't they? I heard we only owe 15 million on Sancho. So there you go then, JP.
Okay.
So take the 25 million euros and let him bounce. Yeah.
What's up? Saying not looking good at Man U. Total rejob for Ruben. Do you agree with
I
that?
wouldn't say it's a total rebuild. I think the young kids that we brought in, the Heavens, the Dorgu, obviously Ahmad now playing after 2 stints on loan. I actually think there's a lot of positives there.
Yep.
It's really about the balance, and if we can get the Obama deal done, if Rashford comes back, I'm playing Rashford in the 9 norm. I'm not paying him 325 to be in no reserves. I'm playing him in the 9. Whether United fans agree with me or not on that one, if we can't move him on, he cannot rot in the reserves on 325k a week. That just cannot happen. Like if that means you hire him a shrink to get his head straight, then do so. You got all summer to get it done, you know.
Just coming back at what Robo is saying, if Chido or Haven, I'm telling you, this is what we do, Robo. This is what we do. Yeah, look at the players that we've let go. Why can't we keep our academy players? Because they don't see a pathway through. Not
to the first team, innit?
Current manager, but at least Ruben. I mean, soon as Chido come, I'm not saying they're playing every game, but they were involved. Yeah.
Until he got injured, no.
We had a Deje sitting on the bench, a natural striker who's now been let go. Yeah. He didn't play him once. He said, right, I'm going to use Moreno up front. All right, 6-7 goals. But we did not buy Moreno to be a player to play up front in Champions League. This is how far we've dropped, Big D. This is how far we've dropped. It's ridiculous.
But if you look at that, Norm, if we go back to Rashford's not going back, D.
So JP, where's he going to go? What's going to happen?
Yeah, well, I actually saw this today, JP, about Ruben doesn't want him on the tour. As in, he doesn't want him around the younger players to influence them.
Yeah, but D, you're going into a situation now because you listen. Both teams, we want to go into this first game of the season, relaxed. Yeah. As you can see, I've brought the fixtures up. We'll look at the fixtures, look at our individual fixtures, fixtures and games for the first 10 games. We'll look at that. But you don't want Sanchez or Sancho, should I say? You don't want Rashford, right? 2 problem children.
Well, this is Ruben, because you have to remember the fallout with Sancho wasn't with Ruben; it was with Eric Ten Hag. But the fallout with Rashford was with Ruben. And then for whatever reason, he just stopped playing Anthony. That's why Anthony took the loan in the end. He just needed, and I think I saw an interview where Anthony said his head with all that was going on off the pitch, his head was completely gone at Old Trafford. It was just a lot. And we saw that, he found himself at real this. So fair play to the kid for getting his head straight and back to playing some decent football. You know what I mean? Obviously got to a final and lost, but he was part of getting that team to a final. So there's no. I'm not going to bash Anthony, whether people like him or not. It just didn't work, and that happens a lot. He's not the first player to come to Man United. And it just doesn't work for you.
D, just looking at this from Mr. Robo, right? This just shows that this man don't like strikers. Under Mikel, we've let go of 7 strikers and signed no one. Laka, Uber, Balogun, Bref, Chido, Butler, and even
Man like Eddie.
Man like
Eddie, I want half Eddie.
But it's just like he's not interested in strikers. Yeah?
No.
But then once he sets his mind on, but once he sets his mind, so obviously he's gone for this profile, young 22-year-old player. Yeah, he's gone for this young 22-year-old player. Listen, man, it's a joke, man. It's an absolute joke. Back on loan if we have to. He needs to forget Barker. He's not going there. But where's he going to go on loan, though? This is the thing. Where's he going to go on loan? Let me just read a couple of these.
The thing is, and this is the thing, JP. He disrespected Villa as well. You know what I mean? Villa gave him a lifeline, and he's like, "Yeah, not really for me." I'm looking for a bigger club than Villa.
Yeah. Do you think if Villa made Champions League, do you think he would have stayed?
Well, that's the thing, isn't it?
Interested, isn't it?
And I actually think we would have been forced to let him go for a lot cheaper just because of the wages.
Yeah.
Which, at the end of the day, is a homegrown talent. So he owes us whatever he owes us in terms of if it's 20 mil, it's 20 mil, you know? So
big up Waffle, man. What you saying, man? Go
yeah,
and
big up
subscribe
yourself,
to
man.
Waffle Don TV, man. Doing bits, doing his daily walks, doing his daily jog, yamming food. I see you, boy. I see you eating, man. Big up to you, brother. Yeah, man. Big up to you.
So it's let me see, Frank Bags and Burma just Spurs.
No,
I'm not sure.
Listen, I
think.
mean, look, you're talking about 60 million for Embremo, yeah.
Yeah.
I think that interest is now gone from Spurs, and now it's kind of more back into the lap of Man United. Yeah. So it looks like Brentford want 60 million. That's what they want. Man, do you think he's worth? Do you think he's worth 60 million? And will you give him the 200,000+ pounds a week that he wants? Because that's where the trickiness is going to happen, bro.
Well, the thing is, I think because of the noise he's made, he's put himself out there. So even if he stays at Brentford, is he a disgruntled player? You never want a disgruntled player at any of our clubs. But so if his heart's set on United, which I'm hearing, that's been the talk that.
He's quite calm about the. Listen, he's quite calm about the situation. And also that, you got to also remember, if you do actually get this guy, and it's probably, I mean, okay, for Liverpool, they probably knew anyway, because I did actually realize, and it was bereft of me, that that there's the African Cup of Nations that starts in December.
Yes, and we have to be mindful of that.
And he's going to miss possibly 6 games.
Yeah,
if you buy him. Right, but I didn't realize it's the World Cup year, isn't it? As well.
Yeah, but don't forget, we'll lose Anana, which is not here or there. We'll lose Ahmad. Who else? Ahmad Anana.
What's the guy that plays at Have you got an Algerian that plays in your team?
Mazarari as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll lose Mazarari. I think there's one more. I think there's at least 4 players we'll lose to the African Cup of Nations.
Yeah.
So it's something that the clubs know when they sign talented African players that play for their country, that whenever this comes around, that they're going to go. Because normally the month of January, isn't it? Like most of January, they're normally gone for. So I'm actually okay with that. I'm okay with that because hopefully by Christmas, we're not languishing in the bottom half of the table. So we can shuffle the pack. But like I say, we've got to get some sales done. I strongly believe that being this top heavy with the big wages, that the sales have got to be done. And like I say, I feel that if we got 5 players that we want gone, I think only maybe 2 get sold and the other 3 go away on loan, go out on loan again, which is not ideal because now you're still paying half of the wages what you're trying to free up to do better deals. So I think it's Man United's interest to get sales done, but I'm not convinced we get them all sold, unfortunately.
Well, look,
unless the pay cuts come in, Norm, you know.
Yeah. Well, listen. Talking of Man United, and obviously the fixtures are out today, and interesting to say the least. But first of all, I don't know if anybody can see. Sorry, I can't make it any bigger because then I'll lose whatever. But obviously, you guys, you'll know the first Friday fixture is Liverpool at home to Bournemouth, and that could look like that could be possibly a home banker with the new players that Liverpool have got. You know, Bournemouth have lost. You know, their defender could possibly lose Semenyo. Maybe a couple of other players. So we'll see what happens there. Then you have on Saturday Aston Villa versus Newcastle. Interesting game. You know, I'm not going to sort of speculate and say what I think the score is going to be or nothing like that. But just go for it. Brighton v Fulham. Saturday fixture. Nottingham Forest versus Brentford. Sunderland versus West Ham. Newly promoted Sunderland. Tottenham Hotspur versus Burnley. Oh, that's going to be tough for Burnley. Going there with Tottenham getting a new manager and everything. Wolverhampton versus Man City. Man City away to Wolverhampton Saturday. Man City, they've brought in loads of players, plus from the January transfer window, and they're still buying. So all right, they're involved in the Club World Cup, so that could play on them, because that doesn't finish until about 13th of July, and if they make it all the way to the final, do you know what I mean? It could be a bit tricky. Same with Chelsea as well. Chelsea play Crystal Palace, Man United, the Sunday, Super Sunday, Man United versus Arsenal, and then Monday, Leeds versus Everton. And just quickly, the running for the end of the season, let's find that, is this. So this is the running: Brighton versus Man United, Burnley versus Wolves, Crystal Palace away to Arsenal away to Crystal Palace, Fulham versus Newcastle, Liverpool versus Brentford, Man City versus Aston Villa, Nottingham Forest versus Bournemouth, Sunderland versus Chelsea, Tottenham v Everton, and West Ham v Leeds. So that is the last game of the season, which will be played on Sunday, May.
So here's the question, Norm. Here's the question: does Crystal Palace give Arsenal a guard of honor, my guy?
Nope. I can confidently say that.
Yeah, come on, Lobes.
I can confidently say that, mate. Yeah.
No guard of honor for him.
Can we call Man in v Arsenal the El Sacchio already, bro?
I'm telling you, it's a game that neither manager can lose. I know it's the first game of the season. It's one of those games where I think going into this game, look, we lost against you in the FA Cup, and then when we played you at home last season, we beat you at home, didn't we? Yeah, and then we draw at Old Trafford?
And then we drew at Old Trafford, didn't we?
Draw at Old Trafford, yeah.
So if anything, I'll probably see a draw, because one, Ruben is probably going to come and play a low block, and Arsenal can't break down a low block. And if we play the same way we played last season, I see nothing but another draw written over this, mate. I mean, if I just quickly,
if I see him fielding 5 defenders again, I'm going to lose my mind. If I see him fielding 5 defenders at the start of the season, I'm going to lose my mind. I need to see attacking players at the wing-back positions.
Yeah.
And you show up with a solid double pivot.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You get legs around Bruno, because you have to remember as well, this is what people seem to forget as well, that allegedly we told Bruno that we don't need the 100 million for him to stay. So if that's the case, if money's not an issue, go get me a Brian. Don't care what Brian costs, go get him. Yeah. Because if you could have got 100 million for Bruno and you said, no, don't go because we don't need the money, that's what I was led to believe. That was the conversations happening, that Man United don't need the money. They don't have to sell me. Bruno came out and said a very similar thing as well. Yeah, the club didn't need to sell me. So that tells me that there's money coming from somewhere. So unless the club is convinced that they can move on all the players that need to move on, I don't want to hear no penny pinching about players, man. I'm not saying get our pants pulled down, pause, but I'm just saying go do the business. If you said keeping Bruno was the right thing to do, and not take the 100 million for Bruno.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because I don't even think that was even in installments. I think Bruno money was coming direct, you know what I mean? Because they're trying to make a statement, and they have to get rid of that oil money because they get a budget.
Because I think you get that money, bro, then you can do what you need to do. You understand? Exactly. So the first 10 games for Arsenal. This is Arsenal's fixtures. So obviously we play you first game of the season, and we kind of sort of touched on it. That could probably end up as being a draw, but it's going to put a lot of pressure on both managers.
Yeah.
Listen, at the end of the day, top gooners are saying that, we've got great results against the top 6 side. So that's the top 6 trophy still in the bag. But, mate, the way we've prepared this season in terms of our transfer business, which at the moment is zilch, the preseason starts soon. You need to get the players in, bed them in. Now, looking at the potential signings that we're going to get, Zubimendi, Sesko, for me, that feels very underwhelming in the sense of, listen, Sesko can probably hit the ground running and do something spectacular. Zubimendi, the same thing. But I don't look at them and think, oh, they're needle changers, or they can move the needle for me. I don't look at it that way. I look at I see what Man City are doing. I see what Liverpool are doing, and potentially, if you get in Brainwell, you got Cunha, and say you did get a Victor Gyokeres, or you got another outstanding striker, I would say your front three, because you still have to address, your midfield. I still feel that you need to address the midfield. But, I'll be like looking at your front three compared to our front three. Sesko, but he doesn't start. But if it was Sesko, I don't know what's happening with Martinelli. Is he going to go? Who are we going to get on that left-hand side? Do you know what I mean? Trossard, we may have to keep Trossard, sell Martinelli. On the right-hand side is Saka. Again, a lot of these players are playing with injuries that are coming back from long-term injuries. They're not going to be the same D. They're not going to be the same. Havertz, not going to be the same. Grade 3 tier. Same with Saka. Same with Gabriel Magalhaes. You got Tomiyasu. You got what's his name out until the end of December of this year. Yeah, we need to get these guys off our books. Yeah. Then you've got Declan Rice playing with a back issue. You've got Odegaard possibly needing things. So we're going into the season not a fully complete fit side, and with the signings that I feel that's going to help us to compete, because I don't think we're going to compete with the signings that Liverpool have made and the signings that Man City have made. And just looking at the first 10 fixtures, so we after we play you away, our next game is Arsenal, is Leeds at home. We've got Leeds at home. They're just a newly promoted club that are coming up. We should win that. Then we have to go away to Liverpool. Now, in the past
that's really early, isn't it? That's really early in the league.
Early. Get it out of the way. But the way is, D, what I'm trying to say, it's probably better to just get it out of the way now rather than maybe play halfway, somewhere further down in the line where we're struggling to get points. So, listen, if we go to Liverpool, we might stink out another draw like we did at the end of the last season. But, they've got Florian Wirtz to sort of settle in. They've got a couple of new players. So they might be a little bit nervous playing in front of the Anfield crowd and all that. Same for our players, and depending on who we get. But Liverpool away, it's going to be a tough fixture, even though in the last couple of seasons we have drawn there. I can't remember the last time we lost there was probably, I can't remember. It might be, I don't know if it was the 21. It was under Klopp, maybe in 2021, 22. I can't remember, to tell you the truth. I'd have to go back. But if anybody knows, put it in the chat. Arsenal at home to Forest. Forest, again, not easy. We beat them at home, but they are a tough cookie. And if Chris Woods, if they still have Elanga, they play with a kind of low to mid block, but I've got very quick players that can hit us on the counter. Yeah. Then we've got Man City. So we've got Nottingham Forest, then Man City. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Man City at home. The last season, we proper slapped them. Listen, Man City were not at the races. We beat them 5-1 at the Emirates. But they've strengthened now, and they are looking to put right. I don't think I'm going to see MLS sitting on the floor doing a what's his name pose, a Haaland pose. I think that might be out the window. Then we go away to Newcastle on the 27th of September, where we've had a total of 3 shots. I don't know what's going to happen there, bro. Do you know what I mean? Then we got West Ham at home.
Another tough game.
And then Fulham away, 2 London derbies, 2 London derbies back to back.
Yeah.
And then in between all of that, the Carabao Cup we kick in, possibly we'll be looking at Champions League. So we don't even know, we haven't seen the Champions League like fixtures or anything like that. So we've got all of that to deal with. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Then Crystal Palace. So 3 back to back. That's mad. 3, 3 London derbies. That is crazy.
At least you're traveling too far.
And then away to Burnley. Yes, we're not traveling. We're going to be in London, so we're not traveling. But that's my fixtures. Let's have a look at yours. Let me just get first of all, let me just get the rest of these chats first. Cool. What's Robo say? We've said that already. We've seen that one. Arsenal have a tough start, Norms. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Our fan base will be in meltdown if any besides. Yep, that will happen. But
as
far as we're concerned, Mr. Robo, we should be beating the top 6 sides, even though Man United haven't been there for a little while still. But you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Bruno loves playing Man U. So you can.
Yeah, he gets a free roll. What's up? He gets a free roll. That's why he loves playing there. No discipline.
Champions fixtures, Norm. We need to get that. Yeah. So in between that, when we had the Champions League fixtures in between that, it's a lot of games. So we have to have a big enough squad, D. We have to have a big enough squad to do it. Let's get your lot. If you want to scroll down your first 10 games, we know you're going to be playing us first. So
right. So
scroll down.
Yeah, so here we are there. Man United Arsenal, which is a Super Sunday. Then we are away to Fulham on the 23rd of August. Home.
How did you get on with Fulham? How did you get on with Fulham this last season?
I think we drew one and lost one. Okay. I think they got the better of us. Yeah.
So that's going to be a tough away game.
Yeah, always. And then
Burnley.
Newcomers Burnley.
That should be a result. You should have a result.
That has to be a 3 points for me.
Yep.
And then we have the Man Derby, bro. Look how early that derby is, Norm. Come on, man. The Man Derby, what, 3 games in? 4 games in?
That's crazy.
Anyway, you know what? This is time for Ruben. Yeah, this is time for Ruben to prove that he belongs.
Yeah, that's right.
He belongs, regardless of City spending. Because so now you have to look at whether we believe that that this what do you call it, 115 or 128 charge,
the 115. Well, I don't know. Look,
right, is actually happening because
I've given up with that, bro.
Yeah, between the January transfer window and what they've done in the first 10 days of the summer window, it tells me that City are planning to spend just in case they get a transfer ban. So it don't matter. The transfer ban won't matter because they've already got their players in, as we see. So for me, kudos to City. I mean, like, people are going to say whatever they want to say. How I see it, if you know a ban is coming and you've got the money to do the business, go do your business, man. Because that's what a bank would do to shore up itself. They would look at other business to help the bank shore up itself. So they're just shoring the football bank up. So the City derby at the Etihad, but because it's Man United, we'll make sure that we'll fill it up for you, gents. No worries there. And then we entertain Chelsea at home.
Yep.
I tell you, man, they're coming for us, with these fixtures, man.
You sound like you're making excuses. I'm going to show you. Nah. I screenshotted it from somebody, one of these top gooners on Twitter. Yeah.
No, I'm good with it. No.
Then you got Brentford. Your way to Brentford, another toughie.
Yes. You know what though? But if Brentford lose some key players, if they're just left with Wizard and a few handfuls, then we might be all right. Away to Brentford can be a tricky one. Yep. Sunderland has to be a 3-pointer. Anyone coming to Old Trafford,
Liverpool,
you've got to just handle your business. And then again, it's what I'm saying. You see how quick, and then away to Liverpool. So,
but you know what,
Brentford and Sunderland, Norm, is a must.
Yeah,
that's 6 points right there, because then we have to go to Anfield. And boy,
is that your 10th game?
Yeah, I think. Hold on, is that
just count back?
Let me see.
Hold on, I can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. No, 8.
No, 8. That's our 8th game.
8th game,
and then Brighton after that.
Yeah, and then
at home to Brighton,
and then
away to Forest,
ooh.
And then away to the Spuds. I'll tell you what, that's a tough opening 10.
Yeah.
Apart from Burnley and Sunderland.
Yeah.
And I say that with a loose tongue. Because we just finished 15th. Like, let's not pretend we didn't. You know what I mean? But yeah, that opening 10, wow, he got his work cut out, man. Because what, you got Liverpool, you got Man City in that, you got Tottenham in that, you got Chelsea in that, and you got Arsenal in that. Yow.
Yeah.
In the first 10 games, we're literally playing top 6 in the first 10 games.
D, as I say, the way I look at it, let me stop sharing that now. Let me stop that. The way I look at that is, look, we got to get our house in order, get prepared properly going into the new season. If we fail to prepare, we're going to prepare to fail. It's as simple as that. And at the moment, Arsenal, as you can see in my background, we're acting like a circus right now. It's just a merry-go-round. Different people saying different things. They don't know if we're coming or we don't know if we're going. Yeah. And then, the excuses are coming up. I screenshot this off of I can't remember who it was. I thought let me just screenshot this, and this is the excuses already have started, mate. The excuses already have started. Let's find it. It's this one. I think it's that one, yeah. So listen to this, right? Playing Manchester United, Liverpool. Sorry, playing Manchester United, Liverpool, Manchester City, and Newcastle United will all within the first 6 games of the season. Some nasty luck that. Then you look at Liverpool's fixtures list. How is it evenly spread out, and wonder if we're being punished or something? This is why we're so hated. This is the nonsense.
Nasty work, man.
This is the nonsense that we're dealing with. You know what I mean? What don't make sense, bro.
Yeah.
You're finding the excuses already. Anything to protect this manager. Yeah? Arsenal needs to earn Arteta, should I say, needs to earn his cool. Yeah, he needs to earn that 15.6 million, right? And we're going into the season after winning or coming second back-to-back 3 times, yeah? Right? The only way is up. Yeah, there's no going down, because if we finish lower than second and we don't finish third, we've properly regressed. Now, I think that we'll probably end up finishing out of the top 4, yeah, if we have not sorted the business that we're meant to sort. And for me, Arteta needs to change his style of play, because we cannot go into next season playing the way we played last season. We cannot be going into next season with 14 draws to our name, where we dropped 21 points from winning positions.
Right.
That's mad. That's crazy. That just can't happen.
Can't run.
It just can't happen.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It just can't happen. So the fixtures are here, people.
So I've just put the Liverpool one in. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So I've just because I had it on my tablet and I thought since we've done the Man United one already, I just flick it across.
Let's look at the Liverpool one then.
Yeah.
Is that there? Is that it now?
Yeah, it should be there. Yeah, that's the one. Yeah.
Okay, here we go. Yeah, do you want to find it there? So Liverpool's first 10 games.
Right. Oh, yeah. So we are. They start on a Friday night. They open the season up on a Friday night, the 15th of August, with the Bournemouth. Should be light work, a nice easy one for them to get there. Light work. Yeah.
And they go away to Newcastle.
They go away to Newcastle. Bam, they're home to Arsenal. And then they have a light Burnley that they should sweep aside. And then
a local derby.
Local derby. Yeah. Everton come to Anfield. Then they are away to Palace.
Yep.
Away to Chelsea.
Right.
Home to Man U.
And away to Brentford.
Then away to Brentford. And then after that, they got Villa and Man City. They've got
a pretty tough kind of toughish opening as well.
The top 6, first 10 games. Also, the top 6 are on it.
Yeah.
So
no, that looks quite tough for them as well. But I just think they're better placed. I think they're better placed in terms of, until I see us with some sort of signing, and whether that signing is decent enough, you know what I mean? Because we've still got a number of areas in the team that we need to address, and because our focus is primarily on the strikers, we're neglecting, the attacking the wing situation. So you've got the left wing situation. You need to sort out the right wing situation in terms of somebody to challenge Saka. It could well be that Ethan is going to be that one, but maybe Ethan should just go on loan, because the way Arteta's treating him, he should just go on loan, bro.
Do you think that Saka's got too comfortable now, with no one challenging?
No, it's not that. I don't think he's got too comfortable. I don't think he's got too comfortable.
But there's no natural cover.
The problem is that he needs rest. That's what it is.
But there's no natural cover for him.
Yeah, this guy will just play him into the ground. Yeah, I don't think he's got comfortable. I don't get that impression. Yeah, but there's nobody to, or if it is the case, Arteta's not willing to change it up.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? He's running these guys into the ground, and that's why we got so many injuries. Yeah.
But it's about the trust, isn't it? No,
we had the ninth worst injuries in the Premier League. But the
yeah,
way the press is talking, the way Sky is talking, the way the top fans are talking, is like we were the only ones that got injuries.
right.
It's crazy, bro.
But I think you look at him, and his stubbornness is just beyond. It really is. The way he's stubborn in terms of, like, you as a fan would say, surely he rests this one and use this guy in this game, and he won't do it. Like, no, the line that comes out and you go,
because we went into last season with a small squad. Yeah. Run them into the ground. They end up getting injuries, and then he has to shuffle the pack. And then he has to come up with internal solutions where he's playing Moreno up front because all of our attacking players have gone. And remember, they didn't all get injured in the same time.
It was quite spread out.
Not only that, and WhatsApp can attest to this, we've never challenged Liverpool once.
Right.
So, you know, I mean, we haven't challenged them. We didn't challenge them once. Even when Saka was fit, we didn't challenge them. When Kai Havertz was fit, he didn't challenge them. And the fact is, when Kai Havertz was, even though he scored 9 goals in 21 games, that's not enough, for me, for supposedly our main striker. Yeah. So at the end of the day, yes, he gets injured in February, and then he comes up towards the end of the thingy. Nobody knows whether he was going to score. I don't think he's not a player that I think can get you 20 plus goals. I just think 13 to 14 goals is his max. His best was when he played for Chelsea. When we bought him, I think at the time of the season when we bought him, I think he had scored 8 or 9 goals for Chelsea, and we paid £65 million for this guy.
Yeah.
And now we're counting the costs because he's the elephant in the room, because that's why we're having to build things around him. Because the problem is if you bring in a top class striker, where do you then play Havertz? He has to have to move into the midfield area, and he can't. And you know what happens when you play him in the midfield area? It doesn't work. So the fact is we could end up buying Sesko, and he rotates him and Sesko. But Havertz was on 280 a month, the highest paid at the club. He's going to be the one. So Sesko will technically be a 22-year-old, highly paid project player.
Which doesn't make any sense, does it? It's not what you need.
Because we're not at that stage. We're not at that stage. We're not at that stage to be a project. Be using a project player. We want somebody like Gokares who's going to hit the ground running. You know, I would rather take a punt on somebody that scored 39 goals plus 8 assists. Yeah, rather than going for somebody who season in, season out in the Bundesliga for RB like is regressed in his goal scoring.
Yeah,
but they're saying that the risk is paying £69 million for Gokares, who's 27, because of his age. But yet you're going to go you're likely to go and spend £85 million on Sesko. Yeah. They keep saying, oh, you know, Gokares is playing in the farm, and they're finding fault with the way he plays. I couldn't care less. I just want somebody that knows where to put the ball, and that's put the ball in the back of the net. That's all I care about, mate. Yeah, that's all I care about, bro.
Yeah.
So I don't know. You might go back and revisit Gokares. I don't know. Maybe I don't know. Oh, does he want Champions League? I mean, Juventus are sniffing around him as well. So maybe he goes to Juve. I don't know. I don't know where he goes.
Well, Juve still got Vlahovic and
yeah, but I think they're trying to get.
I think they're trying to push him out, isn't they?
Yeah,
they're trying to push him out, isn't they?
Yeah, trying to get him out. So yeah, so listen, we're 18 days in, people. I'm sure tomorrow we'll hear other news, regarding the striker situation. But
yeah,
I've got to the stage now. Just bring anybody in now.
Just bring someone in. Yeah, just get some.
You know what I mean? Yeah, because it's just a circus right now, mate. Honestly, it really is a circus, and you've got people, gaslighting and gassing up Sesko. I mean, the mad thing is that when the talk of Gokares is coming, everyone's bigging him up. Soon as Arteta opens up his mouth and says, or the narrative is that Arteta wants Sesko, they now finding fault in terms of how Gokares plays the football, his all-round game and stuff like that. I say it again. I will take a punt on somebody that scored 39 goals as opposed to someone that scored 13. I don't want to hear about high ceiling or ceiling razor or whatever. Yeah,
Exactly.
I haven't
Yeah.
got time for that. Yeah, you know what I mean. All right, I want somebody that's going to hit the ground, because I think if he comes and plays for us, I think Gokaris gets us 20 plus goals.
Yeah.
Whereas, and some people will say, well, playing in a system, in Arteta's system, that could come down. Not significantly, but it could come down.
Yeah.
Then you bring
Not only
Sesko
that,
in.
he's playing against better defenders as well, Norm. So I think
There's all
when you
of
look
that.
at yeah,
Yeah.
I think it'd be hard to expect him to do what I don't know what's Trent playing for Real. Yeah. Big up my guy.
We're coming down anyway. We're coming down now. So
but yeah, I think it would be wild to expect him to do what he's just done over the last 2 seasons in that league, in the Premier League, because if you look at the centre backs in general, like very physical centre backs. So you know, you saw it with Xerxes when Xerxes first came in, they were kicking lumps out of him. Then you had to realise that this is it. I'm not getting these calls. You know, this is not a free kick here in the Premier League, where it might be a free kick in Portugal, and so he had to just change his mindset to like, right, be tougher in holding the ball up, and when you turn, know that you might get an elbow across your throat. You know what I'm saying? So it's yeah. For me, it's still, I still think you guys should just roll the dice on Gokares. If Arteta's serious about I think if he's serious about challenging Liverpool and Man City, I think he has to roll the dice on Gokares.
Yeah, right.
But he is a character, and we know that Arteta doesn't like characters. He likes players he can control and bully.
Exactly.
So this striker might stand up to him, and it might not go down too well. So you have to, you know, and obviously everyone's waiting to put that business on the July book as well, Norm, financially. Yeah, that sort of business, you don't want it on this financial. You want it going into July and do the deal in July. But what you do, you get everything done. So on the 1st of July, bam, it's just revealed because all the legwork's done.
Yeah, but D, what I'll say to this is that Arteta likes to lead us down a garden path, right? And this is why. This is why. Yeah, read that statement for me, please.
Everything is planned. The moment I start to think about it, I feel goosebumps. What happened to this brother here? What happened to this Donny here, man?
Right. Mikel Arteta is excited about Arsenal's summer plans ahead of next season. Please get excited. What are we getting excited about? What plans? Where are the plans?
Is he on the spectrum? Real talk.
Well, I don't know, brother. He's on something. I'll tell you that now. Yeah, he's on.
I reckon Arteta's on the. I think he's on the spectrum.
No, he's on clown spectrums. Yeah, that's what he's on. He's on a clown spectrum. How is it that he says everything is in place? I get goosebumps. So where are the bumps? Where's the goose? Where's the goose?
He's getting bumped by the gooses, boy.
Come on, man. And this is why I'm frustrated, dude. That's what I'm saying. It's circus settings.
He's literally Phrases FC, isn't he? He's just a phrase, brother. Yeah.
Phrases, brother. And I'm
telling you. He's trying to gaslight you, man.
Gaslight you.
Yeah.
The Super Sunday, we better make sure that our team is fully equipped. Yeah, fully prepared going into the first game of the season. Yes, we can pull it back if we do whatever, but you know what I mean? I want to start as we mean to finish kind of thing. Yeah, there's going to be ups and downs and whatever. Yeah, the journey. He likes to say the journey. But yeah, I don't think, as I say, D, and I'll say it again, under this manager, we will never get to our destination. He's not going to get us over the line. And I'll be shocked. With the players that I'm seeing, I don't see this guy getting us over the line. With the players that we're linked with, the targets that we're linked with, I feel very much underwhelmed. Yeah. And that's why I'm feeling how I'm feeling. Because
I hear you, know.
It's tumbleweed settings, bro. It's a desert out here, D. And it's a circus, bro. And I say every time my mood changes, my background changes. Yeah. so this is why we're at the circus today, bro. We're at the circus today, but I'm hoping that we will hear some kind of positive news.
Yeah.
As I say, we're going into the middle of June now. And I'm sure we will hear by the time Liverpool, if not already by the end of this week, there could be announced the Florian Wirtz deal. Yeah, there could be announced the Florian Wirtz deal, mate. Do you know what I mean? Because as I said, he would have had the medical and all of that, blah blah. They've agreed the fee and all that, and here we are trying to have talks with this one, talks with that one, and nothing ain't going on but the red. Nothing ain't going on but the red, bro. But it is what it is, man. But yeah, I mean, other than that, you got any other sort of things on your mind before we close down the show?
No,
anything
I think
that's come to mind?
wow.
Any other businesses I'd like to say?
Just making sure that yes, we spoke about the Sancho thing. I'm just checking my notes here. So just quickly on Ruben. Apparently, Ruben, this guy, he's got the tick. I don't know whether he's a foreign correspondent, but Paddy's saying that Ruben has informed the board, the Man United board, that he does not want Rashford, Sancho, Anthony, or Garnacho included in the squad for the pre-season tour, making it clear he sees no place for them in his plans, and is urging the club to speed up their sales process. There you go, Norm.
Okay, just one other.
That's a huge four, when you think about it. Rashford, Sancho, Garnacho, and Anthony. That's a big four. Get gone. That's what Ruben's saying. Get them gone.
Yeah,
I hear him.
There is one other thing, and that's one of Mikel Arteta's backroom staff, Carlos Cuesta. He's only 29 years old. Yeah. And that's why I said maybe the empire is starting to crumble around Arteta, right? And he's poised to go. He's one of his, they say, lieutenants. Yeah, he's looking to pick up the job, the Parma job. The first team as a head coach in Parma.
Fair play.
So yeah, it's a big thing for him. He's only 29 years old. Apparently, he's quite a good coach. So I don't know what's going to happen regarding that. So he's flown out to Italy apparently to finalize his appointment. So we'll see what's happened. So yeah, Arteta has lost one of his backroom staff. It's a pity that he could have gone out there instead of Carlos. What's that?
It's like, bro, do you fancy joining him?
Hold on. Watch this. Wait, hold on. Watch this big thing. No, watch this. Hold on 2 seconds. Yo. You know I'm live, innit? You know I'm live, innit? That's what listen, don't worry about it, man, because we're about to shut down the show, man. So we're just finished on the thing. So people, say hello to the community.
Hey, what's up, brothers? What's up?
Yeah. But yo, we just Matt. Whilst you're here, we just a quick thoughts here on this is different, man. I've got WhatsApp video, got live and direct, not even on my StreamYard. It's coming through my mic. What you saying about these fixtures for 2025 season? What does Arsenal need to do? Because right now you can't see, but if you was to go on my live, you'll see behind me. I've got the circus settings behind me.
You say what do Arsenal need to do for the season coming up?
Yeah.
Pray. Pray without ceasing.
Pray without ceasing. Pray without ceasing, bro. You know literally. Yeah, absolute joke.
Man. You got to do some. I'm talking. We need to build a tabernacle. We need all kinds of prayer.
It's crazy, bro. It's absolutely crazy, man. But all I was saying, Matt, was that going into the season, I'm looking at our preparation the way we are prepared this season, and it's very underwhelming. One, because we've not brought anybody in. We've let go of 17 players, 0 players coming in. We're doing this juggling act, what they do in the circus with Sesko and Gyökeres, but it looks like it's going to be Sesko.
Yeah, we knew this. I mean, we all knew this was coming. This man has wanted Sesko for the last 2 or 3 years.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just, for me at this stage, whatever it takes to get him out the door, I'm fine. If it takes to get Sesko in here and flopping, hey, man, whatever it takes to get the manager out the door now at this stage.
Yeah.
But I can tell you this now, the schedule is going to solve all that. It's going to solve all the problems this year.
Yeah.
Because we have nowhere to hide this year. You're coming out of the gate playing United.
Yep.
You got Leeds. You got Liverpool. I think the next month you got City.
Yeah.
Spurs is in there, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep.
I think Spurs and City, and then Newcastle and City.
Well, we don't do too well at Newcastle. Not only that, Matt, as well. We have to throw in the Champions League games as well. So there's a lot to contend with, and not only that, the Partey situation where it looks like he may well leave because he's asking for more money and they're not prepared to give him that. So we're going to be very light in that midfield area.
And you know why? Because see, this goes back to the Kai Havertz deal. These wages.
Yeah.
I told y'all the wages of sin. The wages of sin is death. And what are we doing with these wages? I told y'all these wages we're gonna keep coming back and keep coming back and keep coming back. Nobody wants to entertain that. Nobody even wants to even talk about it. They want to brush it under the rug. Well, it's not going anywhere. And see, now we get ready to lose Thomas Partey, who, for me personally, I would have re-upped him on a 2-year deal and gave him a buckle just because he's done so well for us over the years, you know. But see, they don't have any kind of wiggle room when you're paying folks like Calafiore top dollar. When you're paying folks like Marino top dollar. When you're paying folks like Zinchenko top dollar. When you're paying folks like Tomiyasu top dollar. When you need to be able to pull the money out, you can't do it.
Yeah. Yeah, and the problem is as well, mate. Just quickly, the problem is as well. I think Lee Gunner made a point about this amortization with you having to pay their contract, you know, the fee over their contract length.
Yeah, the payments.
So if you think about these payments that we're paying already, we're still paying Kai Havertz. We're probably still paying Jesus and that. So in reality, when we're talking about, if we're talking about, oh, we've got this £300 million war chest, which seems to be this magic number that everybody's pulled out. I don't know how it's going to work. So me paying 85, that's the talk, paying £85 million for Sesko, a prospect, yeah. Again, they're going to be paying that over a period of time. Now, the Zubimendi deal, I'm not too sure if that's going to be a case of they're going to just trigger it, or are they negotiating to pay, again, Clara payments and then pay over the odds again for it. But it now limits us in terms of sorting out the other areas of the pitch. And this is where we're coming unstuck, because I still feel that the left back situation, right, for me is, do you know what? I'm there. Listen, I'll tell you what I'm going to do. Just 2 seconds. I'm going to tell you what I'm going to do. Because my hand is hurting me. Hold on. Hold on 2 seconds. Just give me 2 seconds, Matt. Right, Matt, click on that, man. Yeah, click on that. And just come in for the last 10 minutes. Yeah? All right, mate. Click on that. Okay. Yeah, we're just getting, Matt's just going to join us for about the last 10 minutes. That's cool. Yeah. So we just bring some clarity. Let me just bring in Mr. Southern Guna. Big up to you, bro. And by magic, we bring him straight in. Audio to visual. Big up, Matt. Yeah. Same, man. Big up to you, bro.
Cheers, brother.
Listen, please go and subscribe to Southern Guna. And I know, Matt, you're preparing something special ready at some point. So I know you mentioned it the other day. So we will be looking for the dossier of doom or whatever it is.
Yeah, it's definitely coming. I saw some new material I need to add to it this morning. So it's coming. It's coming.
Yeah, but just quickly, just going back to what you're just saying with the areas of responsibilities now in terms of what we need to sort out in terms of the left back situation, cover for Saka. And when I say cover for Saka, I say it loosely. I say I want somebody to challenge him. You look at the left wing situation, what's happening there. If Partey doesn't sign, we're kind of in a bit of a hole right now. And the thing is, I know people are starting to point the finger at Berta because I know you was on the show the other day, and when you rang me, video called me, and you said a certain word. You're not going to say it now.
No.
But you know where we're going with that one.
Yeah.
You know where we're going with that one. Because what is it that people are not getting? What is it that people are not getting? I don't understand. And you're looking at the state. You look at the state of Arsenal right now, and we're in a bit of a mess. Matt, we're in a bit of a mess, mate.
Yeah, I mean, it's like I said. I've been saying it for the last few years. I've been sounding the alarm, and it's falling on deaf ears with most of the fan base. Most of this fan base don't realize that our window closed 2 years ago. Our window closed. The year it was 8 points clear was the year we should have won the title. I don't care what anybody tells me. I don't care what anybody wants to dispute that. Anytime you 8 points clear somebody, you're supposed to go ahead and seal the deal.
Yep.
And I've told y'all, for me, I would have fired him. As soon as the season ended, I would have fired him on the spot. He would have got fired that night. Then we would have moved to the best available candidate. And we probably would have a title by now. Then you go into the next season. You finish a point or 2 points off. You need Spurs to do your homework for you. You're calling them, trying to get favors, putting on white kits. Then you get the last season. You get the last season, not even close. Not even close. That was like watching. That was like watching. Y'all are like this one. That was like watching Lennox Lewis and Mike Tyson.
Yeah.
Not even close.
Yeah.
Not even close.
Not even close. And why people seem to think that we didn't challenge once, not once.
Nope.
Yeah? And we if you think about the Saka situation, the Kai Havertz situation, the Gabriel Mangala situation, all that, it's almost like they want to give you this impression that everybody was injured at the same time. They were injured at different periods of time. And when Saka was fit, we didn't challenge. When Kai Havertz was fit, we didn't challenge. As a matter of fact, when Kai Havertz was missing those sitters and whatever, the fan base was calling for a striker.
Yeah. See, this is what I said the other day. I said people could call for a striker. That should have been 2 years ago. We've got more problems. We had one leak in the kitchen. Now it's a leak in the bathroom.
Yep.
It's a leak in the living room. Water coming through the wall.
Yeah. Can't stem the flow. Can't stem it.
You can't stem the flow. So now we've got major problems. And this is why I said next season, with the way the schedule is set up, Kyle texted me today.
Yeah.
He said we out by Halloween again. I'm gonna go a step further. My birthday is September 14th. We out of here by then. We out of here by September 14th this year.
Bro.
We done. This is over.
The question is, right, Matt, we've asked this question on a number of streams that we've been on. What is it going to take for this manager to actually fall on his sword? What is it going to take? Because you look
time.
At obviously, time. But
it's coming.
It's the fan base. It's just that
he's not going to fall on his sword, though. Norm. He's going to wait to be fired.
Yeah, exactly. You know what? D is 100% correct. It's going to be mutual agreement. We won't get the joy of hearing they sacked him. It's going to be he stepped away, mutual consent.
Yeah.
Or he'll come out. He's going to find a way to make himself the martyr. This is what you look for when the season starts. He's going to start moaning and groaning about his transfer signings. Well, if we would have had this, if we had that, he's going to shift this thing to Berta. This is why I keep trying to tell everybody. People are getting upset, frustrated. Sesko's coming in. Oh man, what is Berta doing? And this people are getting upset. Some of our colleagues are getting upset. I mean, visibly getting upset about it. And I keep trying to tell people the brother has only been in the job for 2 or 3 months. And see, this is what Arteta. This is how Arteta wants this to work. He wants it to hide behind the cloak of Berta. He wants to hide behind that cloak, and do what he wants to do, and throw rocks and hide his hands. And he's going to let Berta be the shield. Now, ultimately, regardless of the fact, Berta's still going to be here next year. His manager will not be here next year. And I want to tell y'all, I keep trying to tell people, when this manager is finally gone from this football club, we can clean this stuff up. We can get these rugged, these players, these Kai Havertz, these Jesuses, these Zinchenko's, these Kiviors, these wages, the wages of sin. Get all of this off of the books.
The wages of sin is death.
And when you get them,
you're gonna have to get some merch for that. You're gonna have to get some merch. The wages of Arteta is death.
Yeah, the wage. Yeah, 1,000 deaths. And I'm telling you, when this manager's out of here, he can finally clean this up. He's not gonna be able to clean this up, and he's no way he can do it. Clean it up in 4 or 5 months, because the wages are so jacked up. See, what should have happened, and it kind of got to go back again. What I said earlier. Not only should a striker have come in 2 years ago, we should have had a new sporting director 2 years ago too. We should have had Bertha should have been coming in then. We had a lot. See, we're behind, and I don't think people understand how far we're behind. It's the same thing with United. United is working from behind. They waited too long. You heard who was it said it, man? It was I can't think now what athlete said it. But somebody said the problem with United is, it might have been Wesley Sneijder, said they wait too long to sack people.
Right, yeah. It might be him, actually, yeah. Yeah, it might have been him.
Said D?
I said it might have been him. You're right, you might be right.
Yeah, I think it was one, it might have been Sneijder that said they wait too long to sack managers. We wait too long to do the same thing. And so when it's behind, if you really step back, you'd always tell y'all to step back 300,000 feet and look at something. If you step back now and look at it, Norman and D, we're actually right back where we were.
What's he doing?
And Unai Emery was taking over.
Yeah.
In that same situation.
And you're right. And Berta has walked into a mess. He has walked into a mess because, as I say, the wages. I mean, you go back and look, and everybody was moaning about and saying, "Oh, these players, they're on high wages now." Well, go full circle. Well, they're on high wages now. Players that are cropped, players that are not good enough, yeah, and we can't get them off our books because we signed them up to high wages. I read, that thing I read to you, I sent to you, Matt, about the Kepa situation, about he was coming thinking that he was going to be number one, right? What changed his mind? What made him say, well, actually, I'll stay as the number two? That, yeah. I think Mr. Robo said that he was on between, I think he said 760 to 80K or a week, but I don't know. For me, I reckon it could be more. It could be more. I don't know. But these are the things where, Berta has to come in and he's got to be sorting out the contract situations. Now we've got the situation with Partey where I know he wants more money because he was one of our best players. Yeah, but they're looking at it and saying, well, he's 32 years old. But if we lose him, we still don't know whether we lock down the Zubimendi deal. We could be going, if we do lock down the Zubimendi deal, we could be going into the season with with Zubimendi, Odegaard, and Moreno.
I feel for the worst this season.
Yeah.
I feel for the worst. A lot of people are saying, well, how can you be negative about this? I'm looking at this. We finished. We look where we were last year with this pretty much the same team, and then we're coming right back again. That's 4 years running with the same team.
Same team. Yeah, same team.
It's running team.
I don't get the sense of a team that's been refreshed. I just don't get it at all. Hold a second. Oh, D, I'm gonna.
Yeah, everyone just keep cutting out, bro.
You got no sound. You got no sound. Listen. All right, D, you've got to jump, yeah? Because if you're dropping up, we're gonna finish up in a bit anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Listen, catch you later if you can hear me.
Big up, man. Yeah, we'll chat, yeah?
Cheers, brother. Good to see you, man.
Yeah, he's having problems with his headphones, man. But yeah, sorry. Yeah, what was it? What was we saying, Matt?
Yeah, I just for me, Norsky, I feel for the worst, man. I feel for the worst. I think this season is gonna be it's gonna be, all jokes aside, I think we're in major trouble this year. I don't see shit going good at all. I could see us dropping out of the top 5, possibly going to 6 or 7. I said I just more than I said possibly 4 after.
Do you think that we were enough for them to pull the trigger?
Yeah, I think by the time we get if that schedule holds the way I think it's gonna hold, I think he's out of here going into December. I think they're gonna throw the dag at him by then. Either that or the player's going down too, because we're nowhere near. We can sign Sesko and 2 other players. We still nowhere near where we need to be at.
And that's my point. I'm trying to make is I look at who we're linked with, and it doesn't move the needle for me whatsoever. It doesn't. You know, I mean, Zubimendi might be an okay player, but I look across the pond or up the pond, and I see Liverpool getting verts. I see City getting Turkey from whatever. It's a mad thing. Big up Jason, what you're saying. Came in, I know you're busy for. Listen, no problem, man. We are coming down. We've been going 2 hours and whatever. Matty just jumped on. Actually, video called me, so we was having a conversation via video call, and then I said, you know what, just give him the link, make him come in, and we'll just, just talk about the mad situation with Arsenal. And it really is a shame that you look at what we're doing now, and you've got people coming and telling us that we need to calm down and just chill and relax. We're 18 days in, man, and I ain't seen nothing but the rent.
No, and that and that ain't even came in. You going to the mailbox looking for a check. You know how it is. You go to the mailbox looking for the check. Check ain't there.
Yeah, man. You know what I mean? Yeah, it's I don't know, bro. I'm frustrated. It's just everybody else is excited about the season, but it's just like the whole circus around Arsenal, and when it comes to us doing business, there's always a circus, Matt. There's always a circus. We never ever seem to do things simple. How is it that a team could say, right, we're looking at the player? I'm sure the Florian Wirtz thing. What we heard 3-4 weeks ago. Next thing we know, the man is signing.
Yeah. He's signed. Yeah.
Yeah. We had concrete talks. We was having concrete talks. Yeah, we was having concrete talks with Sesko. Then it went from concrete talks to saying that from Fabrizio that Victor prefers Arsenal and that Man United are at the running. Now we're hearing that actually that's not what Victor actually said. Victor's now upset with his club because they wouldn't. It's just a madness, bro. Honestly, it's a madness, man.
Normally, all this could have been solved 2 years ago if they'd have just cut the damn check and brought the player in. He was available. The buy clause at the time was $65 million. This is known fact. We all know this. And instead, Arteta decided he wanted to spend over $65 million on Moreno and Calafiore. And so now you're paying the price for that. I told you every chance we're gonna pay the price for not only them wages, but for every transfer that he's done the last 3 years.
Yep.
4 years. We're still paying Jesus, Zinchenko. You look over at Havertz.
Yep.
You look over at Moreno, Calafiore, Tomiyasu.
Jesus.
Jesus. You know what I'm saying? You look at these.
Is he what's the name till what? Is it 2027? Jesus. Is he contracted till 2027?
I think it's 7. Yeah, I think it's 2 or 3 years left.
That's crazy, bro. And Kai Havertz is. I know Kai Havertz is 2028.
28. Yeah, 28. This is what I'm saying. See when you pull back these layers like this. This is what I tell people. Berto he's going to have to. What's going to have to happen is we're going to have to go into the toilet first. Then the manager's gone. Then he can turn around and say, "Hey, look, these dudes on these crazy contracts, man. whoever coming in, either the person that's going to come behind Arteta is going to have these players. You say, look, man, you're not in my plan. Now I'm going to give you a chance to go find somewhere else to go, or throw them down there in the reserves, let them rock.
Yeah.
Someone's going to have to give the way you can get some of these players off the books. He's got to be sold next year. He's got to be sold.
Well, the thing is, if we lose, what's the name, Partey, that means that the chances are that probably Lokonga will stay. And I know you've kind of verbalized that quite a lot. You've made a point of saying, well, basically Berta is saying, here's your man, coach the guy, yeah, and make sure he's ready come the 16th or 17th of August. Yeah. Because at the end of the day, I don't know where I think we're running out of money, and why we're taking so long to do deals and that, it just seems like we may not have the money to do it.
The money's gone.
The money's gone.
The money's gone. The manager spent the money.
Yeah, and he spent that in the summer. Well, yeah. I don't get what's actually caused him to think like, why would you, if you knew you needed a striker, why would you go for two? I don't get it. I'm baffled.
But I kept saying last year, y'all. It just blew my mind that he wouldn't even attempt to get what he needed to get the job done. I mean, he knew he needed a striker, Norman. That's what made me so mad with him last year, was the fact that you knew this. You knew you needed one.
Yep.
And then to act like you didn't need one, act like you needed one at the end of this season was absolutely a disgrace. He knew when we played Bayern Munich, what did he come out and say? He said, we need a gunman. We need somebody that can score a goal. So going into the end of the season, see, Jason, no.
Yeah.
I've been saying this everything we've seen is nothing new that I hadn't said.
Because you've seen it all before and you called it. And the problem is when you spit and we spit facts, yeah, the top gooners want to stick their heads in the sand, yeah, and hope that, you know, it will all go away. And then what they then do is then try and make all the excuses they can for this manager. And this is what it's literally, they're protecting this guy. Yeah, I don't know if he's got some special stone in his head or whatever, why they're protecting this guy. You know what I mean? The protection is unreal. I've never seen any manager protected like this.
I've never seen it in a sport like this. I'll be honest with you. Watched a lot of sports over my life, Norman.
Yeah,
I watched a lot of sports. I've never in my life, you hear me? Never in my life seen anything like this. And Jason is an American brother, just like me. Jason will tell you, we've seen a lot of sports over here in the States. I can't think of one sports coach in America or in the world that I've seen have this kind of protection ever. They hadn't won anything, hadn't done anything on any level.
Yeah,
each manager has a hold over this football club. He knows it. That's the thing. That's the sad, sick part about it. That's the sick part about it, no, is that he knows he's playing. He's the Pied Piper.
Yeah.
He knows this, and so
he's got the backing. He's got the backing from the press. Yeah, he's got the backing from the journalists. He's got the backing from top content creators. Yeah, and some. I think it was on Shane's on his show. Guna was on his show. Big up to Shane. And he was saying that we've got to break down these doors or barriers, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's a lot. It's a lot to break down because there's a lot to get through to actually get through to this guy, to actually say, listen, this guy is pulling the wool over your eyes. But they've all fallen into it. And that's why the question is being asked, is this a cult thing? You have to ask the question because it's seriously bordering on that.
Yeah, I've never seen anything like it. I've never seen anything like it, man. And when you see folk like Harry Simeo run out here with this defending, I mean, he defends better than the 1991 Pistons.
Brother, listen.
He defends Arteta better than the Detroit Pistons did in the 90s. I've never seen anything like this before. I've never seen anything like it.
Brother, yeah, no, it's true. And the mad thing about it, though, Matty, was that he was asked in that that conversation between him and what's his name? What's the guy's name? I can see his face. What's the guy? What's the 12th man guy's name? Dan Potts.
Yeah, Potts.
Right? So he was asked, or what he essentially said was that going for a Carabao Cup or an FA Cup would be not enough or suffice enough to give this manager time. So I was in the chat and I was saying, well, if he doesn't win a major, or he doesn't win in terms of a Champions League or a Premier League, and I think Dan put the question back to him to say, well, then okay, if we don't win a basic domestic cup and we don't win a major, so what do you want him gone then? And he couldn't bring himself around to saying, and I'm just thinking, well, because now he's saying you have to bring context to it. What context? What is it? What is the context?
Yeah, the context is when to go home now. It's the time for the excuses is up. It's 6 years. It's time for fresh. It's time for new ideas. It's time for fresh. It's time for freshen up.
Yeah.
These players need to hear something different.
Mm.
People like some have heard the same stuff for the last rubbish for the same 5 or 6 years.
Yeah.
And I know as a former player, I know as a coach, if I ain't seeing the results after 3 years, I'm sick of hearing what you got to say, because it's the same old, same old.
Same old. Yeah, same old.
When you ain't getting no closer.
Yeah.
And you coming up short. It's the same. You coming up short the same way you've been coming up every single year. Every year we come up short the same way. Not enough. You don't have the extra play. You don't have this missing. This gone. This that. You know. Get confused. Doesn't know how to make in-game adjustments. You got Carlos Cuesta that bailed on him.
Yeah, I saw that. And he's gone to Parma. And a good coach, I heard he's a very good. But it looks like the empire seems to be crumbling slowly.
Well, you know what he did? He got experience and he left. He had experience, came and he got more experience and he left. He left him high and dry.
Yeah, and the thing is, I'm sure it's like with anything. I get it. You know, you want to move on in your career and that. I think if Arsenal was winning things and doing things right, maybe that guy sticks around. But he's probably thinking, every day I come in, I'm seeing the same old.
Yeah,
I bet he goes there. Listen, I don't know, but I wouldn't be surprised if he goes there and bangs with Palmer. I wouldn't, and it'd be interesting to sort of keep an eye on his progression when he goes there.
I said this year. I said, well, that'll give me another team to watch in the Serie A. So I'm gonna keep my eye on Palmer.
Keep an eye on and see what this guy is doing, because he's going and cutting his cloth. Now he's going and cutting his cloth. He's not gone to, Palmer was big back in the day, but now what's that one?
I said he didn't do like Arteta when he left Arsenal and then go to Juventus.
Yeah, no, that's it. That's the equivalent. That's literally, that is the equivalent of him going to Juve. Is the same as Arsenal, as Arteta coming to Arsenal. That's what it is. That's what it is. Rinse and repeat every season. Yeah, Airport Albert would have won us something by now. But I believe that. I really do believe that.
We'd probably have a double year up on the Airport Albert. I firmly believe that. I firmly believe any manager that's worth a damn would have got at least a double out of this team that we had. You know, especially those last 2 years ago, that 8-point season. Yeah. Because 8-point season we were cooking. And this manager pissed it away.
Do you think, Matty? Do you think
I was really done with him there?
Matty, do you think like he has to change his style of play going into this? I know he won't do it because he's so stubborn, but for us to really, because the football that we saw last season was absolutely horrendous, mate. Right?
You know what, North? If he changes it now, it'll pretty much reset the team again, because they're so used to doing it the way that he has always done it the last couple of years. So it will take 2 more years. It'll take them another year just to get back in the flow of a new system.
Yeah.
They start a manager in that let the players express themselves. You know what I'm saying? Like you get a manager come in like Conte, and the players that have that individual flair, your Sakas, your Martinelli, hell, even Odegaard. Hey man, y'all go out there and make something happen. Let them express themselves. Let them do what they can do. Declan Rice need to go for it. Go for it. We got you.
Yeah.
This manager, he has them rigid locked in, and so they in their head subconsciously. Even if he changed the system, they're gonna go revert back to what he's done.
Yeah, I hear that, and I think what he did do was he gradually the year when we bottled it. Then, if you notice, his football was more controlled. The following year, and then the second year, it just or the third year now to us now coming second, it was literally that's it. It was handbrake football. It's like, what's going on? It was, his PTSD setting, and it was a case of this man doesn't want to lose. He would rather not go and lose a game rather than go and win it. And the football from back then to now is completely black and white. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
literally. It's crazy.
This is why I said next season we get ready. It's the SS Minnow. It's the SS Minnow, Gilligan's Island. We get the ship is going in the water, and so after next season, I think things will become a lot more clear of what.
Yeah, I think people just got to be patient, and it's a difficult thing because we want to see progression and that, but I think we're gonna have to maybe take a couple of steps back, take the the hit, and that hit could be Arteta losing his job, and then us getting in a manager that knows what he's doing.
It's like boxing. Sometimes you got to take a jab to go knock somebody out.
Yeah.
You just got to take that shot. You take that one shot, and then you can once they give you once you go, you can trade and you can come back again. Because see, a lot of people, what I think everybody wanted to see, and in a perfect world, we would have all loved to see Berta come in and sack this man at the beginning of the as soon as the season was over, and we'd be moving on. But historically don't work like that. And so,
that's saying. At the beginning of it was Berta's tenure, I think that was what everybody's hope, that there will be a change in culture. He's going to come in, but obviously we haven't seen that, and so we're obviously we don't have the preview of being flies on the wall to see what really is going on. So a lot of the times we're kind of from the peripherals, and because of a lot of the noise that's going around the circus and everything, you're trying to second guess and say, well, maybe this is happening. Berta comes in, okay, he's for Gyökeres. We know that Arteta's for Sesko. Is there some kind of tussling going on there? You know what I mean? We just don't know. But I think I've got to the stage where I just wanted to see someone come in there. You know what I mean?
I think that I hadn't given up on Berta yet. I think that
I'm not giving up. I think there's the level of frustration because I think because obviously he's having to deal with that, and whatever. And then listen, if you're gonna get Sesko, get Sesko. It's not Berta's man, but obviously he's the one that's got to see the deal through, make sure the contract is right and all of that, blah blah blah. But there are a lot of people saying, well, I heard it on another conversation that with Berta's in, then he should be able to just do it within 3-4 months. Yeah, he shouldn't have to take a whole year to fix it. He's expected to just click of the fingers. It's all working, which it doesn't work like that. You know what I mean? He's got a lot of mess to deal with, and
I told you it's a mess, man. This brother Edu, and see Edu. This is why Edu made out like a bandit, because he knew that if I can get out here early enough, I don't have to catch a stray bullet on the way out, and so he's out of here. So now all of everything, people completely forgotten that. People have completely forgotten that the deals and everything that he's done, and so now the new man is in. It's like you heard the brother say yesterday. Well, Berta should fix. That's his job. He should fix it. He should get it done within it. He shouldn't take him all this day. He's done it before. He's just in the third. Yeah. And the Arteta's going to use that to his advantage. Oh, well, shoot, man. Well, Berta's the new guy, so they're going to look at him automatically because he's a new guy. So I can still, get my Seskos. Yeah, I can get my Seskos. I can get my Zubas. I can get everything I still wanted because the new man's here. He's got to take all the flat for it. And he's hoping. What he's hoping that everybody else that is done with it, what they either ran away, they walked away, they resigned, They've left. He's hoping that happens with Bertha, but it's not going to happen. I keep telling y'all, regardless of how bad the situation looks at hand right now, they brought this man in for a reason.
Yeah.
If they wanted the easy way out, Ato was already in the building.
Yeah.
That was telling. There's certain things that was quite telling for me. In that Ato, when they didn't hire Ato, I said, we might have something going on here.
Yeah.
Because that brother could have easily stayed in the position, and Arteta would have still got whatever he wanted done, and he could have, another extension and all this. I think time's winding down on this manager. I think it's finally starting to wind down, and I think what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to sit back and wait. Remember I told you, I've been saying this week, at least this week and last week, the first 15 games, and you saw the schedule today. Y'all saw the schedule today.
Yeah.
Kyle said Halloween. I told you September 14th.
Halloween.
It's going to be dooms. It's going to be serious business this year, North. It's going to be serious business this year. And it's going to be a lot of these top gooners. A lot of these top gooners are going to finally have to face the facts that this man has led them down the dark path. And so they're going to have to turn from their wicked ways. And they're going to have to turn from their wicked ways. And it's going to be rough.
I mean, I already shared this already. I already shared this, Matt. If you can see that, this is from Wellbeats, and it's basically playing Manchester United, Liverpool, Manchester City, Newcastle, all within the first 6 games of the season is some nasty luck. That then you look at the Liverpool fixtures list, and how it is evenly spread and out, and wonder if we're being punished or something. Excuses have started yet again. Again. Yet again. And obviously, this last one, you laugh at this one. I thought you probably might have seen it, Ben, but I'm going to share it. I'm going to share it again. This one made me laugh. It's just Arteta towards the end of the season. He couldn't wait. Yeah, what are we doing here? Where's the bumps then? Yeah, where's the gander goose?
He gonna take some bumps this year. He right. He gonna take some bumps. He definitely gonna take some bumps this year. Yeah. No doubt about it. No doubt about it.
Everything is planned. The moment I start to think about it, I get goosebumps. Mikel Arteta is excited about Arsenal's summer plans ahead of next season. Really? Really? Bro. Laurel and Hardy show, man. Somebody said earlier in the chat, this is the Laurel and Hardy show. Not my show. Arteta. Yeah.
Yeah.
It is. And I don't want to put Berta in that. Yeah. I don't want to put Berta in that because, as I said, he's obviously brought in. And I don't know if, I mean, you might be into, like, I don't know if you're into, like, wildlife and all that. But, when David Attenborough, there's this certain fly that lays his egg on whatever, and it eats him from inside out.
Yeah,
that could be Berta.
I keep telling y'all,
it's gonna be a bit of a slow death for Arteta.
Yeah, look, I got a good track record. I told y'all last year. I told you the year before last what was gonna happen. And I told y'all Berta's gonna he's gonna get. I'm telling you, if I was Arteta, if a person with good sense would have went with whatever the sporting director. If Berta's come in and said, "Hey, let's get Yokers," okay, cool. I'm going to do everything the sporting director, say to protect myself. A fool is going to do what he wants to do. He's going, I'm going to get Sesko, Zuberman. I'm going to stick with what I was already doing.
Yeah.
So if he really wanted to say, okay, well, it's Berta's fault, he should just went along with Berta. But instead, he's going to go against him because his ego does that. He does that all the time. And so now when it fails again, now you can get him. The money's going to be spent again. Now, regardless of the fact, we're going to bring in players. We're not that stupid to say we're not going to sign anybody. We're going to sign players. The question is, are those the players that we want?
Do you think we'll bring in the players in time for them to sort of bed in for?
He's got to. He's got to. This 3 weeks before the preseason start.
That's what I'm saying. That starts in nearly what? 4 weeks.
3 weeks. 3 weeks.
Oh wow, 3 weeks, jeez.
3 weeks.
Well, 1st of July. That's when they said they're going to announce.
Yeah, if we don't have any signings by July 4th, it's going to be some real fireworks, and I ain't talking about over here.
Brother.
It's going to be some serious. It's going to be some serious business. This is what I said. But Noski, that was the problem last year. I said the same thing last year. I said, if we're bringing in this striker, and I was on the record saying this, if we're bringing in a striker, he has to be in by preseason because he's in a new system. Yeah. So if it is Sesko, he has to be done by the 1st of July.
Yeah, 100%.
I'm talking like that week has to be done, has to be announced. Zubamendi has to be here if he's coming. Anybody else, any of this winger, all this stuff, we don't have the luxury of waiting to September 1st this year. We don't have that luxury of doing that again. You can't even wait till the 11th hour bringing in of some Sterling, some silly signing. You got to have these guys in, regardless of if these guys, if we want or not. They've got to be here and be Asia. They got to be on tour. They got to be ready to roll. They got to get used to these players. This stupid ass system that the manager got. They got to get used to that. Sesko's got to get used to tracking back, defending. It's a lot. It's a lot that's got to go into this.
It's a lot, bro. It's a lot.
It's a lot. And like I said, we've left ourselves in such a mess, and people don't see it. I'm the type of person. I'm a Virgo by nature, so by nature I like to prevent stuff way in advance. I see stuff way in advance, and when I seen those wages, I knew 2-3 years from now that we were gonna be in trouble. I was one of the few people when we signed Kai Havertz. I came out that day and said this deal will kill this football club for the next 4, 5, 6 years. People thought I was being harsh. They thought I was crazy. It's not saying that Kai Havertz is a bad player. It's that for me, if we were signing Kai Havertz, we should have signed him when we was in the Europa League, when we was dealing with that. He's that type of player. We've got too many players on this team, Norski. We've got too many players on this team that are Europa League players, and we're looking for them to bring us Champions League, Champions League aspirations. So that's why when we played PSG, we looked the gulf in class was so far. When you look at these other teams, the gulf in class is so far. Bayern Munich. When we played them.
Yeah.
And that was supposed to be a destitute Bayern Munich team that we played. That was supposed to be the lowest in the low, Bayern Munich. And
still we couldn't do it.
And so we're behind. We're behind. And I think this finally gonna catch up to us this year. And it's people gonna wake up and see it. You got your flukies that's gonna still come out there and they still gonna talk about the conspiracy theories and PGMOL and leave the geezer alone. You got all that kind of stuff. You're gonna have folks singing in the hair clippers. They're gonna still be out there. You can't do anything for them kind of folks. But what you are gonna see this year, what you are gonna see, chat, or you gonna start seeing some of these older heads, they're gonna start saying, wait a minute, this don't feel right. We've been seeing this for the last 2-3 years. Why we keep going through the same thing over and over again?
Yeah.
And it's gonna slowly start to turn.
The light bulb's gonna switch on. It's gonna switch on. They're gonna go, hang on a minute. I think we've been duped. And you know what's crazy about it? We're gonna finish on this. I think it was about 4 or 5 years ago. It came up on my timeline of a podcast I did, and I did it at the time. I didn't use StreamYard. I was using Zoom, right? And in that particular podcast, it was pre-recorded, and for some reason it came up on my timeline. I think it was yesterday, the day before yesterday, and I was talking about the Arteta situation and how he was breaking the wrong kind of records. And I think at the time we were sitting like 11th, right? And I stated in that I've been duped. I said I've been duped, and ever since then, that was 4 years ago. Yeah, that's what he said on my timeline. So it just shows how much I didn't know about StreamYard back then. Yeah. I was just going off for YouTube, and I was trying to do my best to kind of make it look professional. And when you're recording via Zoom, you're picking up the voices as opposed to this kind of setup. And I said, we've been done. I said, we've been done over by Arteta. We've broken records against Burnley, Wolverhampton, Aston Villa, and we're sitting currently 11th. And I was saying, if mine's sharp, we could finish 15th. That's how bad we was playing.
Hey, I used to call him when we was on that patch. I called him the chart buster. He was breaking all the records.
He was breaking records.
He would break a record. He was busting the chart up like he was the Beatles.
Oh
Number one with a bullet. I mean, he was just completely. I'm telling you, and when you look at his dossier, the man has been outside of the 8-point season total in utter failure.
Yeah,
and that was a monumental failure.
Definitely. And I'm sick and tired of them hearing the same narrative time and time again. This guy took us from, us being a club that was in disarray, blah 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 blah. Well, according to, I'm sure when Unai was sacked, yeah, we was I think we was 8 points. Were we 8 points off the top four?
We were. If I'm not mistaken, I could be correct. I might be wrong, but I want to say we were 6th place.
So was it 6th place?
Something along that line, something like that. And then this doofus, they said that Big Tone, they said oh well, he's taking us from this to that. Well, no, when he arrived, he's taking us from 8th to 8th to 5th to 5th.
Yeah.
And then we lucked up and caught everybody by surprise that year. And then the next year he couldn't get over the hump again. And then we saw last year not even close.
Not even close.
Not even close. That's why I said if last year we finished second, it was not even close. I want you to think about that. Just eat that when you step back and look at it. We were 2nd place and not even close last year.
Yeah. And the thing is, Liverpool took their foot off the gas. People are saying,
they coasted down the hill. When your car cut off, and you gotta just steer it, so you can put it in park. Yeah, that's what Liverpool did, coasted right down the hill.
But people want to turn around and say, "Oh, well, at least we clawed it back to 10 points."
Yeah. They want to try to ease the pain. This is the
madness that we're hearing, brother. This is the madness that we're hearing.
Yeah, they want to. I can't think of my girl that used to sing the song, but they want to do like her, want to ease the pain.
Bro,
man, get out of here.
Get out of here. I'll tell you, as I said, the fixtures are out. It's going to be a rude awakening for us if we don't get our targets in, whatever those targets are now, because now I'm resigned to the fact now we ain't going to get Victor Gyökeres. It looks like we're going to lose Thomas Partey. I don't know if we're going to address the left back situation. I don't know what's happening with the left wing situation because that Rodrigo thing it keeps coming up. Listen, it ain't going to happen, right?
Nah, he's not coming this year, bro.
I think DJP said we will probably get in 2 players. That's what he thinks we're getting players. And
I tend to think that possibly 2,
maybe
3. Yeah, maybe 3, and one of them is probably going. Like I said, I hope that the stupid signing is the Kepa signing, and that we don't have any outfield stupidity. So hopefully that's the stupid signing for the year. And then we're okay. But if we see anything in the outfield like we saw with Sterling last year, we really in some deep shit.
Yeah.
That's real talk, no. See, I'm being serious with you now. If we get another one of them signings in the outfield like we had with Sterling, like Garnacho come through that door.
Oh,
if Garnacho come through that door now, I'm telling you now.
I can see that happening, bro.
Yeah, it's Arsenal now. This is Arsenal we're talking about.
Yeah, he doesn't want to leave the Premier League, and he's holding on for someone. And it would be typical of Arsenal. They've done it in the past. I think it was Curtis Shaw was saying it. He said, I think he said it jestingly. I remember when he was talking about the Raheem Sterling thing, and he kind of said it in jest, yeah. And he says, something tells me we're gonna get this guy. We're saying, no way. And look what happened.
Yeah, I told Lee in August, the night before, a couple of days.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, Lee did say. He did say, yeah.
Flat out told him. I called him one night. I said, Lee, we getting Sterling. He said, man, are you crazy? You all right? I said, yeah, I'm serious. I told Tony Clark Gunner. I told him. He'll tell you. I called and told him. I said, we get Raheem Sterling.
Oh boy.
No, brother. Yes, he's coming.
Yes, brother.
Yeah.
He's coming.
The fact that we signed Kai Harris, anything is possible. The fact that we signed Kai Havertz, I know for a fact under this manager, anything is possible.
I remember that summer when the rumor came out, and I thought, there's just that's just no way, because I knew Chelsea didn't want him, and I thought if anything, you either stay at Chelsea or go abroad. So when it started to pick up, and I was thinking, nah, this can't be true. And I'm looking at Kai Havertz stats, and I'm thinking they're talking 60-odd million and whatever. I'm thinking with add-ons. I'm like, really? And when and you see how quick it got done.
Tony's in the chat. Tony in the chat. Tony's in the chat. Tony called me. I was at work. He said, Mott, you're not going to believe it. I said, what? He said, we signing Kai Havertz. I said, you crazy? He said, go look. Lo and behold, when it looked, Kai Havertz.
Wow.
But Tony, like I told you, Nomsky, Tony's sitting over there. Tony's sitting in the chat. Tony, listen to what I'm about to say. You're going to have to go through the pain. This season is going to be like labor for a woman. 9 months. Pain. You got to go through that pain to give birth to a new day.
Yeah.
That's what's going to have to happen. But we're going to have to, whether you like it or not, in order for this manager to be removed from the premises, we're going to have to go through a sorry season this year.
But just going back to Tony Claw's statement quickly, where he's saying now big scrutiny now is coming on Berta, and it's starting to become, as he's putting in his words, disturbing, because now you have a situation now where, and we said it, we called it that whatever happens, if Berta comes in and things don't go the way it should go, they're going to start pointing the finger at Berta. And Teflon Arteta is going to get away with it.
But see, this is why I did what I did yesterday over on Dan Potts when I was on Dan yesterday. Okay, cool, no problem. I hear y'all. If you're going to put the pressure on Berta, where's the same pressure on his manager? Where's the same pressure on this man? He's been here longer.
But
so why? Right, if he's been here longer, then what's the problem?
Listen to the conversation. And from my understanding, it was almost like to say, well, Arteta shouldn't come into the conversation because whatever Arteta's doing compared to what Berta's doing is two different things. But I'm sure when Edu was, with Arsenal, they were working close together. Yeah, doing everything, choosing the players. And as a matter of fact, too, when things came out in terms of a lot of stuff was leaked out. So you knew a lot more what was going on than you are with Berta, because Berta really keeps a lot of things close to his chest. He doesn't share a lot, yeah? But as you rightly say, you're saying this is the situation, but the expectation is, no, if he's here, we brought him in to do a job, he must get that done. He must get that over the line. He must sort out that, blah, 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 blah. So it's almost like, well, because we didn't get Victor Gyökeres, it's Berta's fault. No, Sesko and Zubimendi, especially Sesko, we was looking at him nearly 2 seasons.
If anybody needs to be questioned, it needs to be this board.
Exactly.
This board and this manager are the two. For me, them your problem.
Those two,
the two major problems. The ownership, we know how stupid ownership is. That's beside. We know that. But this board. Because you telling me that nobody on the board has set him down and say, "Hey, brother, we've allotted X number of dollars for you for over the last 5 years. We hadn't got a trophy." Surely there's somebody on the board that has to have the nuts to do that. Because they have to sign off on this stuff just as like everybody else do. They have to sign off on it too.
Yeah.
So this is why I said the board. But you know what, Nomsky, the board. They're just as spineless as this manager. They're right there hand in hand. I'm on my phone, so I can't pull up my graphic. The cartel. I'm going to bring up my cartel graphic again. The mafia, the red cartel. Who's at the top? Arteta. Who else is at the top? The board. Those two there is the major problem.
Yeah.
That's the major problem. If you're seeing the same exact thing we've seen the last few years, let's go to the source. Leave the new man out of it. We'll deal with him next year. Let's go back to the source of the problem. Why are you still doing this? Why do you keep repeating the same problem? That should be the question that needs to be asked. Why are we repeating the same thing we've been doing the last few years? Mr. Arteta, and you ask him. Don't go to Berta. Ask the man. Ask the man himself. Ask him. And watch how he deflected. And then that's your answer. This manager is playing the game with folks.
They're playing the game. He's playing the game, and these fans, will do. As I said earlier on, they will do anything to defend Arteta. So now they've got another reason to defend Arteta, because this is what happens now. If the signings don't work out, it's down to Berta. Even though they had these guys in the pipeline. Yeah, we know there's a number of positions that we have to address. It might not happen. We might end up, as you said, keeping Lokonga. We might end up keeping Martinelli and Trossard. It's pretty much going to be maybe, as you said, 2 to 3 players. That's not a team that's refreshed. So when we don't do well, they're going to go, it's Berta's fault. The other thing as well, they're going to hold, right? They're going to say, right, the reason why we didn't do well in the league this year or challenge or whatever, because really our new striker who's 22 years old has to develop.
Yep. You got to bed in.
Bed in might take 2 years. So you're going to listen out this year. I'm going to be listening out carefully. The first word would they ever say either bed in or it's going to take time. Yeah.
You know what I say to that?
I know at the start of this season, my man is starting the first game of the season up in Old Trafford.
You know what I say to that, Novsky?
Yeah.
I say, cool. If he got to come in and bid in for 2 years, let him do it with another manager. Let him do it with another manager.
Yeah.
And let that manager bring in another striker. Let's go back to 4-4-2.
Yep. Yep.
Let's change the philosophy right here. I told you before, I would have took Sesko over Kai Havertz. Because at least he would have developed you at least saw what you was working with in the last 2 years. We knew what we was getting with Kai Havertz. You knew that wasn't good enough. And people keep talking about he scored all these goals. That wasn't why he was brought here. Same thing with Marino. They were not brought to score goals. They were brought in to play defensive, to play midfielder. One was brought in as the replacement to Granit Xhaka. I've got that. That's on tape. That's in that. That's on that on my stuff that I got lined up coming down the pipe. And then you look at this year. You say, Mikel Marino, he did this and that. That's cool. That's complimentary. But that's not why we brought him. We brought him at the football club to play defensive midfield.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
So what? And it goes back to what I told you. When we were trying to get to the Champions League, we needed a striker. After Aubameyang left, we needed a striker. If they thought that Sesko was generational then, they should have bought him then. If they thought they were in for Jokers, they should have bought him then. You know, Ivan Toney was available. We had strike after strike, all kinds of strikers were available at one point. Vlahovic, all that stuff. This manager doesn't want offense.
No, you don't. Yeah, you don't.
He wants the hope strategy. He wants the hope strategy. He lives and dies by the hope strategy.
That's right. That's what it is. Yeah, you're 100% right there. 100% right. And the thing about it, when the time when we did put in that bid for Sesko and he decided that he was going to stay at RB, my understanding is, I mean, it could be that he said he wanted to do another year at Thingy, but maybe he wasn't given the guarantees. Yeah, to play.
Yeah, I can see that. I think we mentioned that last year, no? I think that because if I know for me personally, if I was a striker and I'm getting told, and that could even very well be one of the reasons why this is taking so long now. He probably wants some form of, hey man, what am I going to be doing when I get there? Oh well, we'll play you, and then we'll rotate you with Kai Havertz, Mikel Marino. How stupid does that sound? Yeah. If you're an aspiring striker, you want to hear a striker is supposed to be one of those positions that is supposed to be set in stone.
Yeah.
And you're supposed to be, going about your business. You hearing about you got to rotate with Kai Havertz. Kai Havertz is going to start off the bench, or start the first part of the season. We're going to we'll get you acclimated, get you used to playing. You're wasting your career. So he may very well be looking at weighing that option. The bottom line here is this man is going to have to be removed from his job next year. That's that. People can keep going on and on about signings and all that. It doesn't matter who we sign. The main problem at this football club is Mikel Arteta and his geriatric board.
Yeah.
This board, we've got Bob Newhart, Archie Bunker, and we've got Carol O'Connor running this board, and they refuse to change. They're still locked in their ways, and they support this foolishness. They support this foolishness with this manager. Like I told you, if they were serious, they were really serious. The root, they were all the way down to the root. You know, the old folks say, go all the way down to the root. They would have sat this manager when we bought the league 8 points clear. Exactly. That's called being ruthless. Any
other top club would have done that. Any other top club.
He should have been sacked then. So the fact of the matter is, this ownership has looked at the situation and said, well, let's try to make a change. They brought in this brother. This brother's coming in. He's starting working on July 1st. I think that's when the financial year starts, so he can actually do some stuff here financially. Like I know people are saying, you know, other teams doing stuff, but he can actually really start to get some stuff done. And like I said earlier, we're just gonna have to deal with the pain this year, because it was gonna be pain anyway, and the schedule shows you that.
Yeah.
The schedule shows you that the pain is coming. No, I'm scared. Regardless of what people want to believe, that schedule that was released today shows the pain. It's preparing you for the pain that's coming. So if you see a hurricane coming and they tell you that you got 7 days to get out of Florida, get out while you can. So that schedule is telling you that the pain is on the way. And so you need to prepare yourself. You need to be boarding up your windows.
Yep.
You need to be getting your sandbags. You need to make sure that you get your belongings, get your Social Security card, get your cards, you know, get all your important information, put it in the box, fireproof box and all that stuff, and start getting prepared, because there's about to be pain coming. So I don't want to hear anybody say, JB, what's going on, brother? I don't want anybody to tell you that you were not warned by their schedule that pain is coming. I told you all it didn't matter who we signed. We still was going to have pain next year.
Yeah.
And the schedule has bared that out today. There's nowhere, Normski, there's nowhere to hide in this schedule at all. None. Yeah. Nowhere to hide. Every game is a cup final. Every game we play for this year. You know, last year they were saying, oh, you know, down the stretch we got treated like a cup final. No, every game this year. Every game this year. If he loses 2 games back to back, the smoke is it's coming down on him this year. This is why I told y'all, just do past this transfer window. And I know it's hard for some of us, especially some of our colleagues. It's hard to deal with. Poor Aaron. Aaron is about to drive himself crazy over there. We're gonna talk about it tomorrow.
But listen, man. Listen, Matty, I really appreciate you coming on, you know, impromptu. But listen, when you come on, you're lighting up the show. I know Big D was having problems with his audio and stuff like that. But man, thanks for coming in. And yeah, man, big up to the chat. We've been going nearly 2 hours 53 minutes. But we have to talk when it comes to the Arsenal and the circus. As you can see, guys, it's circus settings. Matty said to me, Matty, the mad thing about it is you text me. And you said, after I sent you that thing, you went, what did you say? A circus needs to be your next backdrop. And I said, I've already done it.
Yeah.
So you absolutely see into the future. So, bro, I'll tell you, man. And right now, Isle of Patmos settings.
I told you, Isle of Patmos. I told you these seals going to be open up this year. I told you the seal will be open up this year.
The seals will be open.
The seals will be open up this year, man. And I'm telling you.
And it ain't going to be very nice. It ain't going to be very nice. I'm telling you.
No, the trumpets going to start sounding in a minute. You're going to hear them trumpets.
Yeah, man. Listen, tribulation, brother. Tribulation, bro. Yeah. You know when they said in the Bible, they say you're going to have to run from the rocks because you want the rocks to fall on you. Yeah,
yeah, exactly.
This is what a lot of the Arsenal fans are going to have to go through, people. It's madness out there, absolute madness out there. But people, mate, big up to what you got coming up?
I've got a couple of things here. Tomorrow I'm on with Aaron. So I'll be on with Aaron. I've got a call-in show that's coming up. Tony's in the chat. I've got to get.
So the afternoon show, is that an afternoon thing you do with Aaron tomorrow?
Yeah, tomorrow. It'll be tomorrow morning, 3 p.m. 3 p.m. tomorrow. 3 p.m. I'll be on with Aaron tomorrow. Yeah, we'll be talking. and then I've got to get him settled out because he's about to lose it. And then poor Aaron.
I know, yeah, you're gonna have to do some psychology.
Yeah, I got to get him sorted out, and then after that, I'm gonna have my call-in show this weekend. I was gonna do it Friday, but I've got an engagement I forgot about. And that'll probably be on Sunday, and then at some point next week, I've got to work next week a lot, but I'm gonna try to get a day in somewhere with Tony Claude. We hadn't done a show in a while.
Yeah.
So we'll probably get with Tony Claude, and we'll probably get you. We'll probably get all the guys together, man. We hadn't had one of the powwow. We hadn't had a powwow in a while.
We haven't had a power one for a little while. We need to have that.
So,
man, we have to.
So yeah, we'll have a powwow soon. So yeah, we'll be there, man. We'll be there.
No, respect to you, man. Absolute respect. And big up to the chat. Big up to everybody that's like to subscribe. Please continue to do that. As I said, on the road to 800 and then 1,000 to 900. I'm just doing it in 100 increments. You know what I'm trying to say? Working it, doing what I can. And it's really been a pleasure having you on, Matty, man. And look forward to seeing you on tomorrow's show with Aaron. I will be tuning into that. So I'll be in the chat and I'm sure you're going to be doing your calming. Yeah. Chamomile. Give him some chamomile tea. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm going to light some incense around here for him.
But listen, big up to everybody, man. Listen, take care and God bless.